Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I'm Ketchup.
And I'm Mustard.
You're watching Week 4 of the EU ESL Mortal Kombat X Pro League presented by Xbox.
So last week we saw Foxy Grandpa manage to take his third ESL Weekly in a row. He managed to take it over Sumerian in the closest Grandfinals we have ever seen on the European side of this online league, where it was 3-2 to Foxy Grandpa. Like, I thought this was going to be the week that Foxy was going to be dethroned, but he managed to take it.
That was impossible to call right until the very end. I mean, it was a really strong showing, but I think that Grandfinals really was one to remember, especially from the ESL leagues we've had so far. I mean, you couldn't call it right until the very end there. Sumerian doing really well and giving Greece a really strong showing.
No, we managed to see a lot of returning players. We saw our Canapa Makers return. Shuffles once again managed to get here. I believe his points earned here did place him into the top 5 currently. He managed to take down Mitsuones, who was a second place from the second week. And we see Fassel Maker return. And yeah, again, Sumerian. We saw a lot of good players in this league, but I think today's might be the one to top this.
Going into the Mortal Kombat X Pro League right now, just to fill you guys in, the ESL MKX Pro League is a string of weekly tournaments. They take place. They've been going on for 4 weeks. We are now in week 4, and it is weekly tournaments where there is a prize pool weekly of $1,000. There's not just money to be played for, there are placement points, where every week players that place top in these tournaments will earn points, and the top 5 European placers will be sent to Burbank, California to compete in a 16-man worldwide tournament for a minimum of $50,000. For those at home that would very much like to get involved in this, you still have plenty of time. This is just week 4, and we have plenty of them to go. It's esl.gg/MKX Pro League. They are free to enter, everybody can enter them, and go there for all the information that you need.
So as usual, we do have our prediction point system running along as usual today. Simply before a set starts, do !predict, followed by the amount of points you would like to spend on your predictions, up to 10. Everyone starts with 10, so please spend them wisely. And then followed by the name of the players you think will win the set. Top places today with your points will stand a chance to win some Warner Brothers digital games to be won, so it's all to play for, and you can do that before every set. So do visit mkxconnect.com to find out how you can do that yourself. And for social media, please do follow ESL Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm Studios on Twitter and Facebook, as well as ESL and MK Community Manager on YouTube as well.
This isn't the only thing that we're going to be talking about tonight, though. I mean, we have quite a special thing to talk about at the moment. We have the fan choice system. Very recently, there's been announced 8 players from around the world have been selected. You can choose 4 of those 8 players, and they will compete in a $10,000 tournament next week. Predominantly American players, but we have Nivek and Foxy in there. And as I said, you can vote for 4 of those 8 players. You go to esl.gg/MKX fan choice to choose which of those players you'd like to go. It's really close at the moment. I mean, so far, as far as I'm aware,
there's literally 1% in
1% in it.
And Tyrant and Foxy Grandpa are like 1% difference with each other right now. Because like there's 8 players to choose, but you can choose for up to 4, because 4 will be selected in this tournament next week, where we can send Foxy Grandpa, we can send Nivek there. So any of you at home fans who like the European scene, you like watching these every week, get voting for those. Show those support and get those players there to really see what Europe can do on a global level.
Going into tonight's match, we're going to be doing very shortly. You have 3 minutes as of now to do your predictions for the first game. The first game is Used for Glue versus Rub My Taco. And I will only say that name once tonight. I will refer to him as Taco throughout the rest of the night.
I think that's sensible.
This is going to be a Sub-Zero mirror. Both players very, very strong. Used for Glue, one of the strongest European players in Mortal Kombat 9. And obviously Taco was here last week with a really strong showing versus Sumerian. You have 3 minutes as of now to make those predictions. And hopefully you get some good results and a high chance of winning those Warner Brothers games right now. I mean, both players setting up at the moment, but just to give someone at home a little bit of background here. Used for Glue. Let's talk about this guy for a second.
Used for Glue was once described by many players in Mortal Kombat 9 as like the Einstein of Mortal Kombat 9. This guy like broke Mortal Kombat 9 down to a science. He played Cyber Sub-Zero, so he definitely...
Poor guy.
He definitely had his work cut out for him competitively, I'll say that much. But no, he really broke down the game. He put up loads of guides and tech videos. He was always in training mode, always looking for those setups, those cool things to use in games. And he does the same thing in MKX, only now he's playing Sub-Zero, who is undeniably a better character than Cyber Sub-Zero was in Mortal Kombat 9.
And even Sub-Zero in MK9. I mean, this is probably the most viable that Sub-Zero has ever been in Mortal Kombat. And this will be a Sub-Zero mirror match. The interesting thing here, which as I've said before, really excites me about MKX, is the variation system. We know that Used for Glue specializes mainly in Cryomancer. He used Cryomancer really to get into top 16. Used for Glue would have almost made top 16 last week if he didn't have to fight Foxy Grandpa earlier on in the tournament, quite early, where I hear it it was a very, very close 2-1 set, even before top 16 began.
It was 2-1 last game, last round, so we very nearly didn't even see Foxy last week because of Yusufoglu having to fight him so early. But they're here today. They're on opposite ends of the bracket. They could potentially meet up in Grand Finals, which I know a lot of people are assuming this week, but we have some very powerful players here. We have Madzin, who was the world's, he was the world's best noob Cybot player in Mortal Kombat 9.
That guy was insane. Yeah, insanely good with
He kind of just popped up out of nowhere, really. Like, he was always a consistent, powerful online player. Germany never really had too much of an offline scene for Mortal Kombat 9, regrettably, but he did play online. He managed to enter some really good online tournaments and placed really well. But he's here now to play against Mr. Swizzer first round. And he's got, Mr. Aquarius back. Pulsar is back. Like, this is going to be a really stacked top 16, and I can't wait to see how these matches play out.
We're going to be setting up the next game right now. Looks like both players are choosing their characters. I can see Yusufoglu has indeed gone with Cryomancer. And Dubadar is going to be doing Grandmaster. They might be doing some button checks, making sure they're good to go, as always. At this stage in the tournament, you want to make sure that all of your settings are good to go. But I mean, I'm excited for this Submirror, purely because if it is indeed going to be Grandmaster versus Cryomancer, I mean, it's a mirror match, but at the same time, it very much isn't a mirror match, because Cryomancer and Grandmaster are so different to one another. Cryomancer predominantly being the aggressive variation, but it looks like both players are setting up now.
So we are going to be going into this game. So remember, Taco against Sumerian last week was a really close set. Sumerian made some really clutch comebacks, but will that happen today? We'll see if Yusufoglu, how he fares against this very powerful Grandmaster sub that we've seen so many times last week.
All right, let's see. How are they going to start it? Yusufoglu, very mathematical. He goes very much on what is guaranteed. And like that, he sees a blocked low poke, and he goes in and presses the button. Tagged him with the overhead sword hammer.
That's one thing Cryomancer has over Grandmaster. Use of the EX hammer. Massive damage.
Oh, lovely bait on the slide, though, just to shoot through any offense that Taco was going to do. And here come these zero on block strings. Crazy stuff.
Again, one thing Cryomancer has is just these crazy cool normal strings that just, I mean, they don't set them up for a lot of damage by themselves, but they're really good on block, they're really good on hit, and before you know it, like, you can't move. They really lock you down, especially if the Cryomancer is like really making the most of them. Oh, tagged with backdash, but will not get much off that. It could very much be a game, I think, of Taco really having that full screen presence. But when Yusufoglu gets in, I think the match will change quite drastically the second he gets meter. I mean, that meter burn hammer, having armored properties launching for really good damage by itself. I mean, the second Yusufoglu gets that bar, that's when this matchup will become very much more explosive, I imagine. There you go. So this is where Grandmaster is going to be able to prevail. He has got Yusufoglu cornered right now. Taco with a really nice combo. No doubt this will go into hard knockdown into another clone, just like that.
I tries to grab him with the clone, gets tagged by the clone. And here we go, Taco taking the next round really convincingly here with that Grandmaster corner pressure. Yusufoglu is going to have to get out of the corner right now. I mean, he's sitting on quite a lot of meter right now, which really got him a lot of damage in round one, but he is cornered. This is where it's going to be difficult for him. Good blocks there. Tries to get the jump in, gets a full jump in. Was probably not ready for that to connect, but it has to be the meter burn hammer to get full combo. Here comes the damage. What comes next? That's the question.
Yeah, just trying to get as far away from the corner as possible. Doesn't want any business being there. Does get the low, and again, leaves him standing. Good use of down 4.
I think Yusufoglu always acknowledging that if a low normal is blocked, the opponent is minus there. I mean, he's not going to be able to get any kind of pressure if you block that normal, and that is going to be a swift.
That was not a true combo. That was a reset into that last hit. I think Yusufoglu may have thought he was going to build the breakout, and that's where he opted to go for the hammer. But Rob by Taco, he had a really good second round there. He did manage to just corner Yusufoglu and really just annihilate his health bar. But as soon as Yusufoglu got out of the corner, that was where it was difficult. But that's how the matchup goes.
But what I love about watching Yusufoglu play Sub-Zero currently, I mean, we have the pleasure of fighting this guy quite a lot, being one of our UK guys. He's very, as we mentioned, very, very mathematical. But we're going to do a replay here. This is the sort of corner pressure that Sub-Zero can obviously obtain, but this is only in Grandmaster. But then when you turn that round, I mean, that was a dominant round. I mean, that entire game was
practically a flawless victory. It was practically a flawless victory, that round.
Very much all 3 rounds, though. I mean, both of Yusufoglu's rounds were as dominant. I mean, it's quite a nuts game, but I mean, the way Yusufoglu likes to play is he will look entirely on what is guaranteed on hit. So things like if he sees a down 4 on hit, he will run in. If he sees any one of his combo strings hit, they don't do much damage, but the reality is they lock you down. You are significantly minus when he hits you with those moves. So he runs in and goes for something else. You've not taken much damage, but before you know it, you've been locked in for half the game and half your health is
But then Cryomancer has the armored hammer for the launcher into big, like, close to 40% damage for just the hammer by itself as a starter, which does, chew up counterpokes. Going into game 2, he uses the hammer
Speaking of counterpokes, acknowledging that Taco is going to try and get that first hit and chew straight through it with the meter burn hammer. Such a good tool for Cryomancer.
Oh, doesn't quite get attacked by the ice ball. Taco going some really good zoning right now. Understands that with the clone, he does have the full range advantage with the clone. However, this will not be doing any chip damage to you.
Oh, and he tags him with the ice. I do not think Taco was actually ready for that.
Good block on the overhead. Does go in. It is unsafe on block. Point blank, but does go for the punish. Doesn't quite get it.
Oh, lovely jump just to go in there. I don't think Useful was ready for that, but the important thing about Cryomancer is that string does leave the opponent standing and forward, whereas in the other variations it throws them behind. So if you're trying to keep the opponent in the corner, that string is fantastic to use.
Oh, good down 4. Oh, it returns with his own down 4 on hit, just to really stop that pressure going on. I mean, this is something that Sub-Zero can't really chip you out from full screen. So when he hasn't got a life lead, the clone isn't really going to do a lot for him here. And does go for the run into 50-50. Taka looking to get some damage on the board here. Manages to get himself a throw.
Oh, and he tags in with the freeze there. This will be corner carry. So unfortunately drops the combo, but gets the hard knockdown from the slide. That's the important thing. And he tags him with the range on that meteor hammer.
Just tagged him. I mean, the armor the EX hammer has did absorb the clone, which let him just donk Sub-Zero on the head just like that. Taka really going for some own pressure here. Let's get the clone. Ooh,
lovely jump kick, and that's one of the changes that Sub-Zero received. Jump kick tags and gets rid of the clone entirely.
Yeah, whenever Grandmaster Sub-Zero is hit or blocks an attack with a clone on the screen, the clone will disappear as a nerf that he received in the latest balance patch. Useful making the most of that.
Oh, interesting slide. Gets tagged. Lovely hit confirm into the meat burn freeze. This will be a full combo into the corner carry once again.
This is where Taco needs to be. He needs to get that corner carry. He needs to just lock him down and not let him out of this. Oh, doesn't quite go for a true combo. Does manage to get a Lucha jump punch to reset it though into, again, another drop. And Useful gets himself out of the corner. No hit confirm on that. And this time goes into the EX hammer once again.
Spends the bar. He's confident. What is the next setup? Is Taco going to do a slide? He armors through. Doesn't quite get the combo though. But this may take it if he gets the slide next.
Oh, that was it. That really good use of the clone by Taco. And he has got the meter advantage this time. Like, he has a breaker available. Like, when you have Grandmaster Sub-Zero, when you have a breaker, you can really afford to take some risks.
Oh, he tries to whip punish, gets tagged by the string. Taco sitting on a significantly larger lead here in terms of meter. And again, that's very important.
Does end Useful Glue in the corner.
Oh, jumps over the hammer. Doesn't get a punish, but the positioning is more important there, I think. Taco sitting on significantly more meter right now.
Oh, just going into the raw slide. Risky stuff. Again, Useful go for the jumping. Oh, doesn't quite win the air trade. Taco does manage to prevail that time.
Now, this is going to be quite a tricky situation for Glue. I mean, Taco's sitting on so much bar. He can break at any point. Tags the down 4, but goes in, tries to get some pressure. Good block on the overhead. Down 4 once again. Gets tagged by the low. Is he going to break?
He's opting not to break. Is saving the meter. Maybe he's looking for it for a nice unscaled X-ray combo, potentially, to really end the round at this health.
Absolutely, I mean, by no means is Useful Glue out, but this will be a bit of an uphill fight. Taco sitting full screen, the threat of the clone there, sitting on full meter too. Good block.
Tags, lovely instant jump 1. So really anti-air that attempt. And does manage back the overhead. Doesn't quite manage to confirm to the combo.
Gets the overhead. He's going to have to break here.
Yeah, that was a really smart break from Taco. Oh, doesn't quite get it with this clone. That will trade. That is a Mortal Kombat 9 trade, ladies and gentlemen.
Both players sitting on one bar. Are we going to see Meteor Burn slide?
Oh, Useful Glue gets the hammer. Doesn't get the combo, but it doesn't matter because he gets it anyway. Oh, my days. Useful Glue does manage to take that round. Just like that. That clutch comeback. I mean, he went in for the armored hammer. He did challenge a follow-up. I mean, it's always risky when you use armor, when you have that much health left, because you still take the damage with armor. So you're going to hit it. But if you got hit by anything apart from that clone, that would have killed him, and that trade wouldn't have won. But he made the read, and that's why he got the win.
I mean, he dropped the combo. he dropped the combo in that situation, but it just didn't matter. I mean, it was right at the end, right there.
Again, just acknowledges
like
the clone. But he dropped. That was it. That was the drop. But he did manage to catch him. I think Taco may have gone for a wake up there, and that is why he ate the grab.
He might try to wake up slide or something.
May have been. Something I really want to point out, though, we haven't done so far, is that obviously both players here are playing Sub-Zero. If you at home want to support the ESL Online League, if you pick up the Blue Steel Sub-Zero skin, portions of the profits from that skin will go to competitive prize pots for the ESL Finals in Burbank, California. It starts out at a minimum of $50,000. However, your contributions by picking up that skin will add to that. So if you want to support the scene, but you don't want to compete, but you still want to support, then picking up that skin is a really good way to do so.
Well, we just had Combo Breaker over the weekend with a $10,000 pot, which GJ Dizzy beat Sonic Fox in Grandfinals for. But speaking of this game right now, this will once again be a Sub-Zero mirror.
Taco does manage to get the full jump in. Doesn't confirm to a full combo, but he does this time. How much damage he can put on the table? He is going to leave Useful Glue cornered here, which is exactly where he needs to be. Oh, does get ate by the Meteor Burn hammer. Neutral jumping Cryomancer on Wake Up is not normally advised. I mean, just because of that.
That Meteor Burn hammer does a deceivingly large amount of damage, considering most of the time it is just hammer into back 2, into forward 3, forward 3, 2.
It scales really nicely. Oh, he does get caught pressing buttons there. Usefully tagged by the Meteor Burn Ice Ball.
Most likely did not expect the Ice Ball there, but, a good read there on Taco. Finds himself in the corner. Really nice block on the low. Doesn't quite get the double overhead there. Quite a crucial drop.
Oh, Taco caught pressing buttons after the down 4 and hit, but Really good meat burn slide by Useful to get out of the corner, but risky stuff. Had that been blocked, he would have been possibly lost the round at the health he's got left.
But one thing I'd like to point out is that Useful Glue he's so patient all the time. A lot of the time, he'll literally just comfortably sit full screen. And the second he sees that time to put in a down 4, and then he sees it hit, he'll then go in and start applying his offense. And these little individual strings that, as I said, like they keep you locked down for so long. By the time you realise what's going on, you've taken more damage than he has, and now he can sit full screen. And then just throw Meteor Burn Ice Ball to really try and get the advantage. Oh, but he does quite walk into it. Quite fortunate from Useful Glue to get hit by that. Wow, hammer time. He recognised that he had dropped, he wasn't quite in range for the back one after that, so went to the hammer to at least hit the block string. I mean, it's actually not a true block string. You can interrupt. I mean, Sub-Zero could very much Meteor Burn slide through that, but I mean, at the health he had left, the hammer would have collided.
Absolutely,
that's why he goes for it. Armor doesn't save you from the damage after all.
There you go, Tucker doing exactly what he needs to do here, just keeping him locked down. Good block on the hammer.
Lovely block on the hammer there, actually. And again, trying to press buttons after getting hit by the down 4. Unfortunately, that does not let you get away with it. Down 4 on hit will guarantee some kind of string, but he leaves standing here. Lovely pressure. As you can see, all these individual hits, the on hit leaves Sub-Zero at a really good advantage. And that's one thing Glue was doing the entire time, is just looking for those hits.
Oh, does use the normal slide, walks straight into the clone. Doesn't quite get a lot of damage, but he gets the corner carry, which is what he needs.
And he tries to shatter Sub-Zero's clone there.
The air this time, he's going in for it.
Good block.
Really good block. And no punish.
Not solid punish, but that will actually take it from the string. Sub-Zero taking it, no doubt, with the brutality too. And that will close out the set. Really good stuff.
Really good set. 3-0 to Useful Glue. However, you know, Taco did exactly what he needed to. He was playing the matchup really well. He utilised the corner carry whenever he could, and when he had him cornered, he was not letting him out of there. The only times Useful Glue got out was on a read, which is the only way you want the opponent to get out if it happens.
But I mean, as we just mentioned there, where Glue, when we see Glue play, I mean, no doubt you guys saw it there, was he looks for individual hits. You know, those little down 4s. The 1-2 string is that where he does the punch into the low.
He frame traps the living hell out of you all the time. I mean, that's why it's so effective.
They don't do much damage by themselves, but they add up. And the positions that you get put in are more often than not amazing positions to get put inside. So, I mean, that was really good stuff there from Useful Glue. But, I mean, you know, Taco, congratulations to him for making, you know, the top 16 again.
He will be earning himself some placement points. I mean, that's what we want to really emphasize, ladies and gentlemen, is the players, yes, they're playing for money. Money is played out to first through fourth. However, the league placement points are paid out to the entirety of top 32. Yes, first place takes home 100, but 32nd you get at least 5 points. And if you keep consistently placing, that is going to add up. So massive congratulations to Taco for making it to top 16 2 weeks in a row. I really hope we'll see more of him as the league goes on.
As we can see there, though, Shuffle's getting the 3-1 on Mitsuones.
There's the first time Mitsuones played last week. Yeah, there's the first time Mitsuones hasn't quite reached this far in a while. I mean, he's made it quite far through week 2 and 3, but this week he is knocked out round 1 versus Shuffles, who is another consistent player who managed to beat him in the fight for 4th place last week, manages to excel over him there for the top 8.
Interesting stuff. I mean, we're going to be setting up our next match now. But I mean, hope you guys enjoyed that set. I mean, welcome to the stream. Hope you're enjoying it so far. For those that are just viewing, welcome to the ESL Pro League. These are weekly online tournaments where there is big money to be won every week and placement points that will send you to Burbank. The top 5 European players will get sent to Burbank this time. But Useful Glue and Foxy being on opposite ends of the bracket this week, I mean, we could very well see a Foxy versus Useful Glue finals. This is something that we always thought may come about, but this is the first time Useful Glue has actually managed to make his way into the top 16.
Well, I know you at home will hear us talk about these players quite often, but it's because of the success they have. You know, very similar to the way that when you watch top 16 for NA, Rio will obviously have a lot of backstory to him, and so will Sonic Fox and players like that. These players do a lot around Europe. I mean, in the UK alone, there has been the UK Kombat Cup. Useful Glue has qualified for one of those, and will be playing this weekend in London for the UK Kombat Cup finals. Foxy has also qualified, so we may see these players playing again this weekend. However, back to today, we have Shuffles versus Madzin. This is a match I want to see, because Shuffles we've all seen play a lot. He has a very strong War God Kotal Khan. He consistently plays, he consistently makes it, but he's up against Madzin, who, as we said before, was a fantastic player in Mortal Kombat 9. He managed to have what many consider to be the best Noob Saibot around. Noob Saibot was not a powerful character in Mortal Kombat 9, but he made it work. However, our prediction points have begun, so for 3 minutes, you at home have 3 minutes to predict who you think will win the set. Will Shuffles manage to excel further in the bracket and manage to earn himself more points, or will Madzin make an upset of the week and manage to show that he's no slouch in Mortal Kombat X either?
Well, Shuffles has done very well for himself. I mean, this guy consistently places in these ESL leagues, you know, with only using War God Kotal Khan. I mean, I don't know if he's using War God here. We know he's been messing around with Sun God. He's been messing a little bit about with Blood God as well. Whether he's been sticking with War God or whether he's trying those out, I'm not sure. But very much so, this guy is doing really well with Kotal here in these European leagues. But Madzin, as far as I'm aware, Madzin does play Sub-Zero in MKX. As we mentioned, he was a noob Cybot player in Mortal Kombat 9, and here he is now playing kind of noob Cybot, but not quite.
I guess his brother counts, or is it the other one? No, this is. Yes, this is Noob Cybot's brother.
We need to scrub up on your MK lore, son.
I was just trying not to make a mistake. Because that is suicide. Making a mistake on MK Mythos, live on stream.
Anyway, going into the next match, though, I mean, Sub-Zero versus Kotal Kahn is quite an interesting one. Especially in the Grandmaster variation, I feel that because
you can lame him out really well.
Yeah, because Kotal Kahn is such a big character. He's one of the easy characters in the game to zone or keep away. The turn zoning really means just controlling space, controlling an area of the screen with projectiles, with normals that have good reach, or with things like combo strings that can basically just keep the opponent at a range where you want them to be. I mean, in Grandmaster Sub-Zero, because Kotal Kahn is so dominant once he gets in, and he can apply those counter pokes, the armor, the potential mix-ups in War God. I mean, Sub-Zero really has no business wanting Kotal Kahn to get in and apply any of that. So if it is Grandmaster versus War God, we're no doubt going to see a lot of clones. We're going to see a lot of ice clones just to keep Kotal Kahn away.
Well, it's undeniably going to be easier for Kotal Kahn. Now Grandmaster has received the adjustments that he's got. I mean, Kotal Kahn has a 6-frame down 4 with tremendous reach, so no doubt we will see Shuffles abusing that with any luck. But he also has a terrific down 1, and Kotal Kahn is the king of the ground. So he's going to force Sub-Zero to block a lot if he's sort of on the ground within range of those pokes. So that will get rid of the clone, which will give Shuffles the edge he needs to really move in and go for his pressure. Because he's got the armor, he's got the projectile, he's got the tools to make Sub-Zero block. But will Madzin, I mean, I know Madzin plays a lot on 50-50s. From what we've seen of Madzin, he's very enforced around getting that clone on the screen and then using it to really enforce those safe 50-50s that are then safe with the clone. But we'll see it. He's going to have to get the clone out to do that. And Kotal Kahn is going to do a really good job of denying the clone, especially at that sort of mid-range.
That's one of the things I like about Sub-Zero now, though, is that the character's very matchup specific. Now Grandmaster has been downgraded, and that clone has been adjusted. So now that when you block an attack, the clone disappears. Because Grandmaster is now, a lot of people sort of, originally when the game came out, clear-cut just assumed that Grandmaster was Sub-Zero's best variation. Now Grandmaster has been adjusted and changed. I mean, Sub-Zero, arguably one of the more versatile characters in the entire game now, because he's got the extreme aggression of Cryomancer. The sheer defense factor of things like Unbreakable to avoid chip damage and damage that you take with the ice armor and the parry. But Grandmaster, in those matchups where the clone is a real problem, you can use Grandmaster. But now you can really choose what variation you'd like to use, and that, hopefully, as the time goes on, we see Sub-Zero players using all 3 variations. We know that Useful Glue uses all 3 variations. Other Sub-Zero players out there do specialize in all 3. And are now, instead of using Grandmaster all the time, will choose what variation suits them best against whatever character they're against.
But Kotal Kahn is another character that can do that. I mean, a lot of people speculate Blood God is very weak. However, you can't take away that he has those practically, touch of death combos. Like, if it was easy to set those up, Blood God would be
the best.
Significantly,
the best.
A very, very powerful character. However, Sun God has the grab. It's got the projectile. Like, the different variations have their own uses, and like I said before, we know Shuffles plays all of these variations.
Well, now Kotal Kahn players are really starting to look for those plus frames too. I mean, both players getting ready to go at the moment. We are going to have Grandmaster Sub versus War God Kotal Kahn. This is the matchup I assume we would see. But I mean,
Shuffles once again picks the Infected Jinsei chamber as a stage.
This is his favourite stage. I mean, whenever we play this guy online, he always picks the blue Infected Jinsei.
It's the red one, actually. He picks the red one all the time.
Oh, well,
I think you of all people would understand the difference between red and
I didn't see the stage, and he picked blue last time, alright? So we're going into the next match. Madzin getting that very important first hit. I mean, the down 4, both characters have amazing down 4s, but Sub-Zero is just being so quick. You can't really challenge that, otherwise he will get the first hit.
Nice hit confirm on the jump in from Madzin. Really, again, does drop it. That's unfortunately, but the armored interrupt will go to Shuffles, which will corner Madzin just like that. Goes to the low. The day wake up does eat it. Lovely repositioning there on the air grab, just to put Madzin in the corner. Goes for the sword there, but doesn't quite get the hit he needs. No punish on the slide, unfortunately. I mean, you really need to start taking health away, especially if you're cornered. Oh, really good use of the overhead sword to get through the clone, and again, once again,
acknowledging that the sword will not freeze him, so he's using the sword just to go straight through. But lovely ice clone taking that projectile, but Shuffle's doing very well for himself right now.
Corners himself. This could be bad, but he does manage to get the overhead for the round.
Really solid stuff. I mean, Madzin, it depends. Is he going to go in, or is he going to play this defensive game? We didn't really get to see a whole lot of it at the start, because Madzin just got in and applied that pressure.
Oh, lovely confirm. Whiffs the clone, builds me. Oh, but unfortunately he puts them too far away to confirm on the combo.
I think he misjudged the range on that. I think he misjudged it. But here we go. The ice clone, just to keep that distance he needs. Now he's going to push him into the corner. Shuffle's not having any meter to armor through. This is quite significant when you're in the corner against him.
Again, Grandmaster Sub-Zero character with such a scary corner presence, but he does drop, and again, Shuffles takes full advantage and corners Madsen to really keep this full screen space.
Oh, lovely read from the delayed wake up. Gets the forward two. Really smart break. That clutch slide, just putting him in the corner, but tries to punish. Gets caught jumping.
Oh, corners himself once again. We need to see Shuffles really start punishing these slides to make the most of the damage. Madsen blocks on wake up, really good use. Madsen is playing really patiently. This is what he needs to do.
Yeah, this is what Madsen needs to just establish that screen space and realise that Shuffles has to get the hit because Madsen has the life lead. If he's going to force Shuffles to get in, Shuffles has no meter either. So he can't armor through the clone anymore, which is one of the prominent things. But now Shuffles has got the life lead, gets the jump in one, frozen for his troubles.
The clone is what's going to give Colton problems here. Like, he really needs to watch the space. When it's on the screen, he has to respect it. But he is sitting with no bar. Madsen with a full bar himself, and there we go.
Oh, that risky slide.
When you've got a breaker, you can take risks like that, especially when you're playing characters like Sub. And when your slides haven't been punished up to that point, the slide becomes, a more go-to option. Uses this bar.
Doesn't quite get the punish. Not sure he was ready for that. Here comes the ice clone, just to keep Shuffles in the corner. Cheeky overhead. This will be a full combo. He's too high. He doesn't quite get the freeze. But the back 3-3 freeze will still get another combo.
He does commit into the standard freeze. Again, when you've got the break, you can take risks. But again, drops the combo.
Doesn't seem to be that crucial. I mean, he's dropping the combos, but he's still keeping Shuffles in the corner. And he's still doing good damage by itself anyway. But, is Shuffles going to make one of those token Shuffles comebacks? Not if he keeps shoulder charging close like that.
Use the EX slide. Again, like, the EX projectile is massively plus and block, but you're not really going to get Sub to block it when you're...
Oh, that was the nerf.
When the clone is up.
Interesting read. Doesn't quite get it. That should be a punish. Doesn't quite get a full punish.
We haven't seen Shuffles punish a single slide yet.
It's very important, I think, that in these situations you are punishing everything as hard as you can.
What's the difference between winning the round and losing it? Like, if the opponent has enough health left, that punish would have killed him. I mean, especially when it was like 3 of them. Like, he didn't punish a single slide in the entire set, but that would have run him around. You really have to be on point.
I love that. I love that faction code.
Well, like, the slide is a powerful move. It's very fast, gets him a hard knockdown, so if you're not punishing it, it becomes an option which he will use a lot more than if you were punishing it.
Well, when you do risk versus reward, the risk is that if you get punished, you take loads of damage. If the opponent is not really punishing your slides with anything other than a down 4 or a down 1, it's no longer risk high risk, high reward. It's low risk, high reward because there is no risk. You take no damage for a block slide. Hopefully Shuffles acknowledges that and is just ready to look for something to punish. And I know that he has these tendencies to go for down 4 or down 1 of every situation just to get the opponent off him. Down 1s and down 4s are quite good just get off me moves where you just poke them and then leave yourself either slightly plus or in that kind of neutral situation where you're now both standing at the same area. But
if you say to Sub-Zero, get off me, get to a medium range, he's going to go okay and put a clone up on the screen.
Exactly.
And then you're in a really difficult situation.
I feel like if you're conditioning yourself to doing low pokes too much as well, you're not going to be punishing stuff in those sporadic moments where you should be ready for an attack. But Shuffles with a really strong start, cornering Madsen, getting one of those token Kotal Khan combos that just does good damage and keeping the opponent in the corner.
Madsen using really good use of the delay wake up. He doesn't quite fuzzy guard that string. I'm not sure if he's seen it too many times before. This is a guaranteed block if you begin to fuzzy guard it.
Lovely punish.
Oh, and drop the combo.
That should be a full convert.
Another drop. Might just catch it forward 2. Not quite enough.
That should be a full punish. Yeah, good punish there on the forward 1 back 2, just to get good damage, good solid damage.
But like we were saying before, practically 100% of Madsen's health in that match was gone to punishes. Like, that's why you need to get the punishes, because it will win you rounds.
Oh, gets tagged there. Tagged by a jump in. When he tries to jump in of his own, Madsen doesn't quite get the run cancel for that standing 1. Interesting read on the armor, but doesn't quite pay off.
And another good use of the delay wake up. And again, not fuzzy guarding the string.
Lovely single back 3 there, just because he was most likely ready for it to be blocked that one time, I think. And that should be the round if Madsen gets it. Unfortunately, too high up in the air once again.
Oh, interesting decision to use the meter from Shuffles. He's going for the comeback.
Oh, he catches him in the air.
I'm waiting for wake-ups here. I'm waiting for wake-ups.
What's going to come next?
Will Shuffles do the comeback? Is he going to do it?
Shuffles, why do you keep making these comebacks, though?
Oh,
my God. Through the X-ray. What? Shuffles, how do you keep doing this? He keeps doing these comebacks.
Every single attempt from Shuffles to pressure Sub-Zero could have been an EX ground pound. But he was there. He was in his head. That's why he couldn't.
Sometimes the armor is so obvious. Sometimes the armor is so obvious.
Look at the life deficit. Once again, Shuffles makes this comeback. Like, this was Madsen's round. He had the meter. He had the wake-ups. He had the situation. But he just opted not to use them, and it cost him the entire round.
And he tries to X-ray as well. But unfortunately, and he chooses to cancel the X-ray too. If he committed to the X-ray, he probably would have got the round. I mean, that was a bit of a scramble at the end, but in those situations, like, you know, it's very hard to keep your composure. But Shuffles with just another amazing comeback. I mean, this guy.
Why do we keep seeing him do this?
Every week he makes it into the top 5 plays with these comebacks, and no doubt, I feel like that may make it in once again because that was so good.
We will have to see. We're going in again. We see the blue Jinsei Chamber this time.
Should be a full combo. Doesn't quite get the conversion.
Ooh, but doesn't eat the neutral jump punch for his wake up down 4. And once again, Madsen with 2 great reads just like that, and gets the conversion this time.
Lovely convert off Madsen. The hard knockdown for the slide. Corners himself. I mean, he's going to win the round here, but I think the important thing would have probably have been keeping Kokan in the corner.
That's one way to answer to a comeback, is a flawless victory. And that's what Madsen has just earned. Armor's into the clone. I mean, realistically, no reason to do that. Sub-Zero was full screen away from him. Interesting read, but unfortunately didn't quite pay off, and he has found himself cornered once again. Madsen with this good corner pressure to keep Shuffles from getting out of the corner.
Oh, he challenges that neutral jump. Good stuff.
Oh, no convert on the jumping punch.
That clutch down 4 once again. I mean, Kokan's down 4 being so good. Going for that guaranteed damage into the forward 1, back 2. Wherever that combo is.
He is caught with the low this time. Again, with clone to build some meter. And Shuffles is in the corner again.
Oh, lovely wake up though. I mean, this next setup could be it. The next touch could potentially kill Madsen and send him.
Oh, this is difficult. This is tough, and he gets the back 2. Oh, but again, Madsen with the drop. This is the clone. Yeah, at that point, no meter to wake up. That was guaranteed. Just chip damage. No wake-ups would have come out in time. His armor was not there, as he did have any meter, and he wasn't chip health. That was really good play for Madsen to really recognize that that was no way to make a comeback.
But the important thing there was just keeping them in the corner. I mean, in all of these replays, you can constantly see that Madsen is just keeping the opponent there. He's keeping him in that area where he's the most effective. I mean, good freeze there, establishing the corner control, going for the clone, making sure that it's just always there. I mean, you know, Shuffles has armor a lot of the time, but in that situation, Shuffles had no meter for any armor at all. So you can really be a lot more, I guess, aggressive with your clone usage, because he's not going to have meter. So you can be a bit more aggressive with how you put those clones down, because there's not really the risk of getting armored through there. Really good play from Madsen, very smart.
But you can see the difference in health bars between, you know, Shuffles will be winning completely by about 50% health. Then he gets cornered, and because he hasn't got any meter, that's basically it. That's kind of the way the matches go. If you get cornered as Kotal, and just like that, decides to challenge, goes to the red chamber.
Or uses his bar of meter, but doesn't actually get the first hit bonus. That's one of the risky things. It's quite risky using your meter to try and get the first hit bonus.
It is quite a gamble. Oh, does tag by the back 2. And again, good challenge on it, but doesn't quite get the convert that time. Oh, will use the jumping punch to really save himself from the clone. Really smart play from Shuffles.
Madsen sitting on full X-ray right now, but just getting tagged by everything of Shuffles. But Madsen getting some good mileage out of that delayed wake up.
He's delaying wake up every time. However, like when you delay at maximum, you can't wake up. What I'd like to see Shuffles start really utilizing that and going for some grabs or going for those mix-up when he realizes he's maximum delayed wake up.
Well, that's it. When you do the maximum delayed wake up and you can't wake up attacks, like right there. I mean, when you do the max charge and he can't wake up with anything, then just go nuts. Go for something. You know, try and get him to fear delaying the wake up.
Oh, and he goes into the clone once again. Shuffles needing to respect that clone at this neutral game. We'll eat the back 2. Will this be the round? Will this be enough to take it?
No doubt. No doubt.
Once again, he gets cornered, and that costs him the round. Madsen making such good use of this matchup right now.
Fight.
Catch him with the down 1. Here comes those mix-ups. I mean, those mix-ups. Oh, lovely low into overhead, but Madsen ready for it.
Ooh, down 4 is under the clone toss. I need to see him start whiff punishing these missed back 2s, otherwise he will just stay in the corner for the rest of the game.
Double back 2. Is he going to get him? He's low enough now. The ice clone will freeze. The opponent has to be significantly lower on the ground for that clone. Baits the wake up armor now. Madsen all over
this may be
in this
game.
guy's head.
Madsen gets the full combo. This will be the game.
And he's going to get it swiftly. Great stuff from Madsen. Madsen moving on.
Really well played from there. I mean, very shaky start. We saw a lot of combo drops from both players, but he kept his composure. He got the corner which he needed, kept it, and won the set.
I mean, that was crucial. I mean, Shuffles, when we see Shuffles play, he gets a lot of good reads out of his meter burn sword, which obviously launches the opponent for big damage, but the armored properties are where that's why you use that move. In those situations, Shuffles just got a lot of good reads at the start, but then Madsen just started baiting it. baiting the sword, and then putting Shuffles in the same situation, but now Shuffles no longer has the meter. When Kokan has no meter, I think Grandmaster can really bully him. Really bully him into whatever he's going to try and do. Especially in those situations where the only real thing that can take the threat of the clone away is if you armor through the clone and then go through whatever he's trying to press, whether he's trying to throw an ice ball, whether he's trying to go for something behind the clone for safety. If you make the clone not a threat, it's fine. But if you've got no meter, then as a Kotal Khan player, you're pretty much just going to have to hold that as a clone and understand that it's just going to be something you have to deal with.
So looking at the bracket right now, we can see Foxy Grandpa has advanced in his side of the bracket once again, taking it to Tough Gong 3-1. Sumerian also manages to qualify 3-2 to Pulsar. Pulsar being an Ermac player we saw a number of weeks back. That must have been a really good set, and Mad Props does manage to excel over Wooded Dolphin 70. Madsen does make his way into top 4, guaranteeing himself a minimum of $100, where he will possibly fight Mr. Aquari Norman or a Foxy Grandpa for that grand final spot.
As we see earlier, Use for Glue doing really well. Curtis G taking over Master VHD. Master VHD being a really strong Kano player and Sub-Zero player. I believe we've seen Curtis G play before, but I for the life of me can't remember the character he plays. So I'm not sure what that match with Use for Glue will be. But we're just going to be taking some of the matches that presumably are ready to go. I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far.
I mean, as I said before, please do make the most of the MKX fan choice fan vote that we have going on all the rest of the day. There is 1 day left to vote. You have up to 4 players you can vote for out of a choice of 8 to see which players you think should compete for a 4-man $10,000 promo tournament next week. Among those 8 players, you have a Foxy Grandpa and Nivek. So we should be able to vote for those players, get that European representation into that top 4 next week. We want to see these guys take it to the Americans. We want to see how that goes.
At the risk of sounding extremely biased, watching the European stream right now,
as if we haven't already.
And I'm biased and corrupt. That's just the way I am. But we have 2 Europeans ready to go. Foxy, I mean, whenever we stream and we play with Foxy, or whenever people at home watch Foxy play in tournaments, all we ever hear is, I want to see Foxy, I want to see Nivek, I want to see these guys take it against the American players. I want to see them take on these American guys. This really is your chance to see that. So if you could vote for Nivek and Foxy to get them in there, to really finally see, Europe versus US, that'd be pretty hype and very, very good to watch.
So going into the next match, it will be Mad Props versus Sumerian. Who do you think will take this? You have 3 minutes to make your predictions. So get those prediction points in the match. Now you have 3 minutes to do that, and you can win some Warner Brothers digital games for successful predictions. Sumerian, we've seen him compete multiple times now. He did manage to take it very well to Foxy last week in a 3-2 grand final set. Mad Props we have also seen before. How do you think this match is going to go? Who do you think is going to win? Get those predictions in, and best of luck, and see if you can win some of those game copies. Looks like we are going to have Sumerian Mad Props, like I've just said before. I predict it's going to be Raiden again. We've seen Sumerian play Thunder God Raiden quite a bit at this point. I don't think we're going to see him swap. We see a lot of success to character loyalty. We know he trains with Nivek and the rest of the Greeks often, and they really seem to share tech and really level up together. So every week we see him, he's improved, and no doubt we'll see the same thing today.
The thing about Sumerian is that he seems to enter this kind of like God mode when he's 2-0 down. We saw last week in 2 different instances where he was 2-0 down and match point against him, and he last week made a full 3-0 comeback while almost being on the verge of being eliminated and moved on. And then being 2 games down against Foxy, also made 2 games up and then really brought it to Foxy in the final game. So Sumerian, if anything, seems to perform way better under pressure. When he's in that situation where he's very close to being eliminated, he seems to really pull it through and pull out some really good Thunder God Raiden tech. I mean, Thunder God Raiden's a good character for making comebacks. And if you can keep a cool head, you can really make it work, even in dire circumstances.
So we are setting up for this game now. I can't quite remember what character we saw Mad Props play before, because it was a number of weeks ago we saw him compete.
He's using Jax in the button check. I don't know whether he's going to be going with Jax.
We often see players picking different characters in that sort of situation, though.
It's mind games. It's mind games.
I guess so.
It's mind games.
Let them have the extra minute and a half to not prepare for your character, I suppose.
I guess. I mean, the thing is, at this stage in the competition, people are really sticking with their characters, which is a good call. I mean, as we've said on every stream we've been on right now, character loyalty has surpassed counter picks or simply put, just desires to pick top tiers for competition, which, you know, some players, they will just go for what are deemed top characters, or, you know, they'll try and go for loads of counter-picking style characters. But because of MKX's variation system, and because every character in this game seems strong, at least in a single variation, those that have stuck with a character so far have really, they've reaped the benefits of doing that and sticking with that one character. Because it used to be in games where if you were specializing in just one character and you had a bad matchup, then you kind of just had to accept it, I suppose. Accept it as a character specialist, or pick up one character for bad matchups. Because this game has variations in it, that is very different now. You know, you get more rewards because you just get more versatility for sticking at one version of a character, because there are 3 types.
At this point, the players are playing for at least 4th place. So they're looking for quite a substantial difference in the placement points, as well as $100. So at this point, we are now looking at the difference between walking home with nothing and walking home with a minimum of $100. So this is where the matches really begin to count. I mean,
it's when you get to top 4. That's when it really...
This is normally where you assume that the nerves kick in, if the players obviously suffer them. Not everyone does. But a lot of players have been here many times. If not, they've played at major tournaments offline for years and years. So a lot of the time, like, the further this league goes on, the less we see the shaky play, the less we see the execution errors, the very risky reads and stuff like that. Like, that's the later we get, the less we'll see that.
I agree, but I mean, as we've said just now, I mean, we are getting further on in this league right now. You know, we're almost coming into the top 4 spot, and, you know, this league, the important stuff, it's not just the money, but it is the placement points. I mean, everyone here wants to be part of those 5 European players that are getting sent to Burbank for the minimum of $50,000 pot, but also, you know, just to be part of the top 16 players around the world. First place walking home with, you know, I say walking home, they're already at home. 100 points for first place, 75 for second, and third and fourth respectively getting 50. And then under that, it's 25. So as you can see, that's quite a significant dip between, you know, 50 to 100, or if you're, you know, top 32, you can get 5 points. That's not, you know, 32. That's not enough to get you here at this stage in the tournament. You need to be placing highly and placing well consistently to get into Burbank.
Well, as we see, Foxy has got himself 300 points right now.
He's pretty much a shoo-in at this rate.
That is leagues more than any other participant has right now. Today could be the day that changes that.
Absolutely.
We might see someone take him down early. We might see someone else getting those 100 points. And what if it happens again next week? Like, at this point, we are 4 weeks into this. We have a number of these left to go. No one is guaranteed right now. I mean, the exception may be Foxy, as he's got 300, but if he loses consistently, then he might still not make it in the top 5.
And those that are in the top 5 right now, if they consistently don't place from here on in, you know, it could be bad for them too. But speaking of this match right now, we have Sumerian ThunderGod versus Mad Props Pumped Up Jax. This was the character we saw last time. Sumerian, as we've said last week, you know, this guy almost beat Foxy last week in the Grand Finals. 2-0 down, bringing it back and almost making a full 3-game comeback, which would have been remarkable, but he'd already done that 3-game comeback the match beforehand to get into Grand Finals. So, you know, Sumerian is no joke, but Mad Props, here he is, and he's here to play. Jack's a very strong character. The plus frames on that projectile. Goes for the overhead, unpunished by Sumerian, unfortunately.
Goes to the downfaller, punish the whiffed Shocker. Shocker does hit high, can crouch underneath it. Goes for it again this time. Good low into the overhead punch, but no confirm.
Doesn't quite get the conversion. And as we mentioned, this point in the tournament, I mean, you need to make every hit count, unfortunately. And this would be a full convert.
Get the forward one. The forward one by Raiden being such a powerful normal. We see the forward 1-2 string used so many times by different ThunderGod Raiden players at this point. We saw Dizzy abusing the hell out of it. A combo breaker, which ultimately got him the win. Will we see Sumerian manage to make a similar result here today? But it doesn't look like it right now, as Mad Props has taken the first round.
Mad Props is a very, very strong round 1. Keeping him in the corner, as we've said time and time again. I mean, the corner game in this game is so important, keeping the opponent there. I mean, when you're in the corner against the opponent, your options are limited, and they have more options against you. So it's very, very important to keep them there if you can, if your character's a strong corner game. But that would be a full punish on the overhead.
Does drop it this time, making himself a mere 30% damage.
One of the things about ThunderGod Raiden, if you drop those combos early, you really miss out on a lot of damage. Gets the meter burn ball, and that will be a full convert. Really good stuff from Sumerian. Good eyes and a good overhead to close out the second round.
I mean, there's something we've said so many times before. ThunderGod Raiden will have meter. He's going to get it, because he builds so much on block. Wonderful whiff punish by Sumerian to really take that. 15% though, unfortunately, but leave standing. Goes to Shocker instead. Good bait on the overhead punch there. Full combo punish. Mad Props. I mean, that was a risky wake up. He had to use the meter first and then broke all 3 bars to get out of that situation. Sumerian put him at 50-50. Here comes the 40% into the mixed up. Gets a good low, and this will close out the round if he gets the combo. And that would be chip alone, but gets a good down 3. Mad Props looking to bring someone back. That knee is punishable on block. Sumerian goes for the armored uppercut just to make sure that doesn't happen.
I mean, that was nuts. I think the real decider in that game is that Mad Props, I mean, he spent the farm. He spent the farm on that wake-up attack. He had 3 bars ready, but he spent 1 bar on the wake-up attack. But then, because it was punishable, he spent the other 2 on the break. I mean, that 1 read cost him his entire bar, but then when you've spent your whole bar and you're still in the corner against Raiden with no stamina, I mean, he's going to implement those 50-50s all day.
It's a guaranteed 50-50 at that point. Like, there is no longer, is he going to jump, is he going to delay wake up? Like, you kind of have to really deal with a 50-50 at that point. I mean, we say a lot, if you've got the breaker, yes, you can afford to make those reads and take those risks, but if you're against Raiden, and the negative side of taking that risk is no meter, no stamina, and a corner, then it no longer becomes worth it. So it's about risk-reward, assessment, evaluation, non-stop. That's what you need to see.
But as we talk risk versus reward, I mean, in essence, every wake-up attack is a risk versus Raiden, because not necessarily because he does huge combo damage, but it's the corner carry of that Superman, which then puts you in the corner, and that's where Thunder God Raiden excels. That corner game, those 50-50s. Here comes a convert. As we mentioned, corner carry, that one Superman has put Mad Props into the corner. Really good stuff. But here comes Mad Props, committing to the overhead there. Unfortunately, had no stamina, so could not follow up in the combo.
Risky Superman dive from Sumerian, but does get a good read. Left himself in the corner, uses the environment to get out of that situation.
And he checks in with that really fast hitting normal. I mean, that's something you can really abuse. Spending the bar on that just to trap Mad Props and keep him there.
Oh, catches the whip punish again. The forward 1, such a powerful normal from Raiden.
And he leaves him standing. Really smart stuff from Sumerian. Just leaving him standing and going for chip right before Mad Props has the chance to break. Very smart.
Fight.
It's one of the important things you do in this top level play is you look at the opponent's meter. You're not just looking at your own. If they almost have a breaker, then you can alter the combo just to make sure they can't break and then go for chip afterwards.
The restand once again. Mad Props, I'm not sure what he's doing there. He might be trying to sort of interrupt, but he hasn't got the meter, so armor is not an option. He is unfortunately eating these guaranteed resets every time.
Oh, the blender. And he tries to down 1.
Down 1 once again.
Risky stuff.
That may have been what he did last time. That's what cost him the guess, but just like that, it's looking bad for Mad Props right now.
Oh, the read.
That was nothing more than a...
That was disrespect.
I know exactly what you're going to do. That was disrespect.
That was disrespect. That was... I'm so confident. I am so confident you're pressing a button. I'm literally just going to do this move right in front of you. And you're going to hit it, and it's going to kill you.
But it did. So Mad Props is now going into Game 3 knowing that Sumerian is reading him like a book right now.
I mean, in those situations, it can be quite crippling. I mean, you now know that your opponent knows exactly what you're going to do, and they're 2 games up. So if Mad Props, I recommend just taking some time here to really just think about what's going on. Think about, what is costing you the matches. I mean, I think what's costing him these games is the fact that he's not trying to block these mix-ups and get something when he blocks it. He's just trying to interrupt. He's trying to down 1, he's trying to down 3, he's trying to sometimes armor. I can't tell whether the low pokes are armored interruption attempts that aren't quite working out, but I really think if he's in the blender, he really needs to kind of just
sometimes you've just got to take
up.
that mix-up. Sometimes you've just got to take it. You've got to make that read to try and get out. Looks like they're going back into Game 3 as fast as they can. Mad Props wasting no time here. Does get the overhead again. Manages to bag himself first hit.
He's running into a lot of these situations, so unfortunately, when he gets to the overhead, he actually has no stamina to follow up the combo with, unfortunately. Sumerian has been in the corner. This is exactly where Sumerian wants him to be. Again, no stamina against Raiden. That's 50-50 town.
Really good jump in from Mad Props. Goes for a really good throw. Again, he still has no stamina. I mean, you regen stamina at such a delayed rate after using a breaker. You kind of have to really assess how you're going to use your stamina once you've done it, but he doesn't block the second hit of the overhead.
Sumerian committing fully into the overhead. I mean, that's unsafe on block, but he's confident here. I mean, he is very confident in his play. Tries to anti-air, doesn't quite get it in time. Oh, and that will close it out. Match point, Sumerian. Such a dominant set so far. Mad Props not really getting the chance to do anything.
Sumerian is just establishing a really good footsie game right now. Like, he knows the ranges of the forward 1, of the low, of the down 4. Like, he's using them all.
Commits into the grab there just to make that 50-50
was that the option
safe.
select? Did he do the option select in the back 2? That we see Raiden players going to. I mean, on hit, gives you a really, really massive damage combo, but on block, if you do the option select, you bag yourself like at least like -7 instead of like -60.
I love
really
that armored Superman. I love that armored Superman on reaction to the grab. And he's fishing for the brutality.
Going for the brutality. The disrespect
fishing for the brutality, and there we go.
And he gets it.
Sumerian taking that very dominantly. And fishing for brutality right at the end. This guy just showboating for us at this point. The Game 2 doing the raw special right in front of Mad Props.
And then he's just going shocker, on block into another one just to get the brutality. We saw Cheap Eddie doing his dances after every game.
The stance switching.
Yeah, the Cheap Eddie.
Cheap Eddie is godlike. Cheap Eddie's godlike.
And now we're seeing Sumerian doing that. Like, we're seeing a lot of disrespect showing this week. I think the competitors really want to showboat.
But as you can see here, I mean, he tries to get it there, but the reaction, the meter burn Superman on reaction to the ground pound, and right here when he fishes for the brutality.
Look at him! Look at what he's doing!
And then you realise, hang on, I'm just going to combo. I'm going to combo it instead. That'll do.
Oh, Sumerian. Oh, you.
But I mean,
That guy.
that was a great set. I mean, Sumerian, he's a very strong Thunder God Raiden. When he gets going, he's hard to stop. And that is just Raiden in a nutshell, really. But we are going to be going into Curtis G versus Use for Glue as the next match. I foresee this maybe slightly slower pace. I mean, Use for Glue plays very mathematical, very reserved.
But he plays Cryomancer, who can have these explosive moments of just raw aggression if he's got the meter for it. I can't remember what character Curtis G played last time we saw him in the top 16.
I'm excited to see. I mean, here he is again. He took over Master VHD, 3-1. He's serious, and he's here now in top 8, doing really well for himself. I mean, Use for Glue, this is his ESL debut, as it were. I mean, Use for Glue, very nearly making top 16 last week, but unfortunately didn't because he lost to Foxy Grandpa in what we hear was a very close 2-1 set.
2-1 last round that went to, so we very nearly didn't see Foxy Grandpa last week because these guys fought. But as we can see up the top, Mr. Aquari has once again qualified past the top 16 in a 3-2 set to Norman, where he's going to be coming up against Foxy. Last time, have we seen these guys play in top 16 yet? Mr. Aquari and Foxy Grandpa?
If not in top 16, we know that Foxy and Mr. Aquari have... they fought each other online a lot. I mean, we stream a lot of King of the Hills for the sort of European players, and quite often Mr. Aquari and Foxy are both in those hills, and they play each other quite frequently. So, I mean, Foxy does generally seem to get the better of Aquari, but Aquari, he's progressively getting better and better each week.
He's leveling up every time I see him play.
He understands what he needs to do to improve, which the main area of Mr. Aquari is hit confirming. But before I get into hit confirming, for those that might be confused on that, we're going to have our prediction points ready to go. As of 3 minutes now, you have 3 minutes to make your predictions. Do you think Use for Glue or Curtis G is going to take the set? You do this in Twitch chat, !predict, followed by the points you'd like to spend, followed by the player you think is going to win the set. Hopefully you guys have been successful right now, and the more successful you are throughout the night, increases your chance of winning some WB games electronically.
Well, best of luck to everyone at home who is making your predictions. I mean, obviously you might think, I'm just going to vote for Foxy every time. But the upset might happen. We might see it.
You might be totally wrong.
Every week we're getting closer and closer and closer to that not happening. And we're seeing these powerful players who are leveling up.
And they are frequently returning.
Frequently coming back.
Frequently
just
returning.
like that. I mean, I can see, Curtis G and Use for Glue are about to play now. I'm sure this will be a really good set. I mean, as expected, looks like we are going to be seeing Use for Glue go with... Sub-Zero once again, but what variation? Because we know he plays the board. He plays Unbreakable.
Depends on the character.
He plays
very matchup specific.
He plays Unbreakable for certain matchups.
I'll let you finish soon.
Thank you. He plays Cryomancer and Grandmaster, though Grandmaster significantly less since the nerf. I know Cryomancer was always his go-to variation, but Grandmaster taking the defensive nerf that it has doesn't quite make it as much of a defensive option anymore. This
is the character we saw Curtis G play, Kenshi.
Yes, I remember Curtis G now.
If you're Kenshi, I don't really see you picking Grandmaster anymore. I mean, if you have a clone out and you block something from Kenshi, now the clone disappears. So, I mean, I play Kenshi a little bit, but I don't play Sub-Zero. I mean, I personally would not really fear Grandmaster if I'm imbalanced, because literally the second he blocks anything, that clone's gone. But I mean, obviously, I'm no Kenshi specialist.
Well, the last time we saw Sub-Zero versus Kenshi, it was ED Jinty versus Choke Falcon at the Birmingham qualifier, where it was balanced Kenshi versus Grandmaster Sub-Zero, and the clone just doesn't seem to really do anything for him. You have to block Kenshi's zoning. You have to do it. So if you've got a clone on the screen, it's gone. It's not going to do a lot for you outside of the corner. So do you take Cryomancer to try and trade armor for armor? Do you take Unbreakable to know that you will take no damage when trying to get in on Kenshi's zoning? What decision do you make in that sort of situation?
I know, I mean... I think personally, I know Unbreakable would be quite useful because you don't take chip. That being said, Kenshi's still going to build bar, which will make advancing on him quite difficult. I mean, Kenshi builds a lot of meter anyway, and the second Kenshi has the bar, that's when you can't jump, you can't press buttons. He tries to counter poke you because the meter burn Rising Karma, doing 30% damage, and more importantly, sending you full screen on hit. I mean, it's easy to combo with Kenshi. I mean, you are pretty much guaranteed that damage if you get a meter burn Rising Karma. So even if you're taking no chip in Unbreakable, he's still going to be building the meter, and the meter is really what makes him so hard to open up. Because, I mean, getting around the balanced teleflurries and stuff is one thing, but actually landing that hit when he has armor at any point, which will combo and send you full screen again, is the real issue.
Well, that's it. That's how it's going to go. It's going to be as soon as you're wrong on that read and the meter burn Rising Karma, you're full screen. Every time you make a mistake, you are back to square one. That's what we're going to see. But it depends on what variation Use for Glue goes with. Because I predict we're going to see Curtis G going with Balance, but I believe we saw him go with Possessed last time.
Absolutely. I don't know that matchup at all. So it'll be quite fun to watch.
A significantly harder time doing that? Like, because Possess doesn't really have the same edge that Balance does in terms of trying to excel on him. He doesn't have the damage that Balance does, and he's arguably just as meter intensive. However, he is going with Sub-Zero this time.
Interesting. I mean, I think Useful Glue are pretty tired of these Sub-Zero mirrors at this point.
There's a lot of Sub-Zero players in this top 16 this week.
Absolutely. I mean, it depends entirely on how K-Man wants to... I say K-Man, it is Curtis G, is going to play this matchup. We saw Glue really establishing the threat of that meter burn hammer to armor through clones. So I guess the question now is how differently is Curtis G going to play?
Prepare to be shattered. Round 1. Fight.
That first hit's going to be very important here.
Goes to the overhead. Start brave with the back two. Unfortunately, drop from Useful Glue, but he does manage to bag himself first hit. And he's really just not letting that clone come out. He's not anywhere near interested in letting Curtis G set up this corner pressure. That down 4, getting such good mileage, keeping him just locked down with these strings, but Curtis G getting that really, really important jump just to save himself from the corner. Oh, unfortunately, does whiff the ice clone, ice hammer, I should say, but just like manages to bag the back 1-2. Oh, goes to the overhead hammer. Good read on the arm and wake up, but doesn't quite get the punish, but he will this time. Here comes Useful Glue. What's the combo? Goes to the neutral jump. This will be a full convert. Hard knockdown.
Interesting use of meter. I mean, in these situations, you normally want to conserve your bar, but you know, working out for him so far. He has
really smart from Curtis G to walk under Useful Glue to really reset the corner position, but does eat the armored hammer. But you have to respect that as an option. You have to respect the armored hammer when he gets bar.
That's quite a risky slide there, but you know, he's got Useful Glue in the corner, and that's where you really want to be. That would have been hit confirmed, but he really smart break to save himself from any of the damage. That down 4 being so good. Useful Glue being patient again, just picking that spot.
Both players, especially for the back 1-2, Useful Glue, really good use of the throw.
And there's the hammer once again.
Good down 4. Good challenge with the down 4, but doesn't quite get it.
Oh, Useful Glue, just those precision strings just to keep Curtis G in the corner and locked down.
Oh, Curtis G with a brave slide out of the corner. Does manage to push him mid-screen, but this is not where he needs to be to win this matchup. He will not get the life lead from full screen.
I mean, if you look at Useful Glue, he's so slow-paced. He's so calculated here. I mean, normally you see people doing a bit of shimmering, but Useful Glue will just comfortably sit in an area and realise he's got the life lead. So
I think it was too crowded mid-screen. Throws the Monk to give himself some breathing room. Sorry, Monk, maybe next time.
Well, those Monks in the back are okay because they're further away.
That was unfortunate. Hasn't got the meter because he sprinted into the cone. He doesn't have the meter and he will eat the brutality just like that.
Snap.
See you later. Revenant Sub-Zero. You cannot win. The new skin Sub-Zero will prevail.
I mean, that new skin is part of the Cold War pack. You can buy that now. It's only about £3, I believe. It's not very expensive.
£3.49, I think.
And it comes with a skin for Sonya. We should know this really. Sonya, Kano, and Sub-Zero. And I really like that skin. I like the Sub-Zero skin because I like the mask. Apart from Unbreakable, he keeps the mask.
Yeah,
as well.
in Unbreakable, because he keeps his normal mask, it kind of looks like he's just got a hold and he's put a hat on. Got cold even, and he's put a hat on to warm up.
But I mean, as you saw there, it's very much what we saw earlier from Useful Glue, where he's picking his moments. If he sees a jump, he won't even try and anti the jump. He'll kind of just sit further away, and the second the jump lands, check them with the down 4. Down 4 and hit lets you run in and go for a free string. So he trip guards with the down 4.
But as soon as that down 4 is respected for the string, that's when he throws you.
Exactly.
Like, it's good use of that frame advantage. That's what we see him do so many times, and that's what we see a lot of top players are doing now.
And the forward 4 into hammer. I mean, forward 4 having good plus frames as a normal by itself. Plus frames basically mean that you can move before the opponent can on block. I mean, there are good plus frames on the 4 when committing to a special move. The hammer has a lot of startup, but if you do forward 4 hammer, it really sort of narrows the chance of the opponent to armor through forward 4 into hammer.
Going into game 2, same stage again, only now it's the evil version, and again, just like last time, drops the combo, but no punish on the slide from Curtis G. And again, no capitalizing on the back too.
Sometimes you're
just major damage here.
I think sometimes you're just not ready to punish something. And that down 4 going in again, and they grab. I mean, there's good plus frames on that 1-2 string, which just, you know, you can run in for a grab. Oh, tags the clone.
Oh, you literally punched the clone, but didn't quite get enough. This will be big damage for a back 2 by itself. Meatless 37%. Ouch, that is going to add up.
Useful Glue again, just keeping him in the corner. I mean, he hasn't even got an ice clone, and he has Curtis G in the corner. Curtis G doing a really good job trying to fight his way out here. Lovely breeze.
Useful Glue sitting on 2 bars of meat right now. Will he opt to use it, or will he conserve it for the next round? That will not confirm, and a really clean max range punish with the down 4.
I mean, why do anything else but a down 4? I mean, that damage alone will take him. Curtis G, I mean, he's doing well here. It's just a matter of, I mean, I think one of the important things is that Useful Glue hasn't really spent much meter, and those meter burn hammers are an issue. They are dangerous.
Once again, the Monk thrown in the background. He just managed to get out of being unconscious. He comes back, he's thrown again, he's like, not again, and now he's dead again.
Really good damage. I mean, deceivingly high damage from that meteor burn hammer. Both players watching out for some kind of armor here.
Useful Glue is making really good reads on these meteor burn ice bomb wake-ups. Oh, wow, the clutch juggle. Just like that, catches jumping, gets in the same situation. Oh, frozen. Wow. Unfortunate for Useful Glue. Wake up throw, good tech from Curtis G.
Wasn't quite ready to get it though. Are we going to see the 1-2 into hammer? Oh, good punish. Doesn't quite get the punish on that. Unfortunately, tries to do forward 2, I think.
Once again, Curtis G knowing that's a really good defensive option when you're cornered. Oh, meteor burn hammer. Opts not to break, or did, no, that hit. No, he hasn't got the break, I'm looking at the wrong bar. That is my bad.
Mirror matches, ladies and gentlemen. Mirror matches.
It is the
hard
mirror
to call.
Win.
I mean, that was a bit, there's no denying, that was a bit of a scramble at the end of the game. But I mean, as always, because Useful Glue was saving meter so often, the meteor burn hammer really just eliminating the clone as a threat. I mean, even on block, if you block the hammer, the clone disappears. And that's the strength of what has changed about Grandmaster setup. How now when you block something, the clone vanishes.
It's just traditional counter poking. It's understanding that when you're at a certain situation after a block, be it 0, be it minus a couple of frames maybe, chuck out an armored move, especially if it's a launcher like the hammer you get in Cryomancer. If it hits, you're getting yourself a massive amount of damage, and in Cryomancer you're leaving them standing or you're getting a hard knockdown.
Oh, Curtis
doing
G
really well.
Sorry to interrupt you, but Curtis G going Venomous Devourer.
It's alright. It's alright.
It happens.
You're doing it all the time.
It happens all the time.
I've just got to hold that.
I love
we'll
doing
move
it.
on.
I love it. I love making your life worse.
Bad, harsh times. Live on the NetherRealm Twitch.
But we have Venomous Devourer. We have Venomous Devourer right now, which I imagine the insect lift is going to be quite a factor. Trying to keep him full screen, keep him checked. But it's going to be a game of footsies here. Absolutely. Starts off. Speaking of footsies, we start off with a jump.
Let's go for forward 1. Really good string for especially Venomous Devourer, but he does eat the armored hammer. This time he will not drop it, and he will bag the full 33% damage.
Oh, interesting read there. Venomous, obviously, when he lands those overpositors, the damage over time does become quite significant.
And we'll see Curtis G going to that a lot. Does go for this hard knockdown. It's a really good setup. Useful Glue. Oh, the armored hammer. Tricky stuff.
He caught him sleeping. I mean, normally when you see that string, you think it's your turn to press the button. But it's not, because here comes the event hammer.
Really good punish.
Point, Useful Glue.
Again, another legit punish on the down 4 with his own down 4 to take the round. Curtis G has a mountain to climb if he's going to come back from this. He is now locked to Devourer. He can never change from this character again in this set. Go blocks on the jump in. Tagged by the hammer.
Here we go again. The good low profile, though, to make the jump in whiff, but doesn't quite get anything off it, unfortunately. Useful Glue not really leaving himself in a horrendously minus situation. That is what these little strings are for.
It's like we said before, we literally said this at the start. When we first started seeing Useful Glue play today, he will go for those strings. He will leave himself plus or 0 all the time, so before you know it, you can't move. Your health is constantly going down. He is building bar. Good use of the insect spray.
But if you realise here, like, Useful Glue hasn't really caught Curtis G in any combos, but those plus frames add up. I mean, right here, just keeping him there. And that will be a whiff punish, potentially into the game right now. I mean, I respect the attempt to change character, because clearly the mirror match was not working, but potentially just Useful Glue familiar with the matchup as well. I mean, we know that Useful Glue fights Devourer players quite often. Curtis G, I do respect the option of changing. He probably realised that the mirror match wasn't working. He can play multiple characters, so if you're just not confident in the character you're using, then you can go for a change. Unfortunately, the change was not probably what he was expecting, and it was more dominant for Useful Glue there. But, you know, Curtis G making top 8, huge congratulations to him, and hopefully we'll see you back next week.
So Useful Glue will be advancing into minimum 4th place, where he has bagged himself a minimum of 50 placement points and $100.
He'll be fighting Cimmerian
next. His opponent will be Cimmerian, so we'll have to see Useful Glue, see how he manages to fare up against Thunder God Raiden. That's going to be a fun match. Can't wait for that one.
It's going to be good stuff. I mean, I'm very excited to see that, because over the years, the UK guys and the Greek guys have just fought each other so often. I mean, they play each other all the time. During the days of Mortal Kombat 9, we would play each other loads of sort of European tournaments, like, you know, SVB back in 2011.
These guys are not afraid to put in the time to travel to compete.
I mean, it makes me quite happy. I mean, just as a player of the game, it makes me happy to see that the UK guys and the Greek guys are still holding their own, and these same guys are bringing it every week. And we're, even today, you know, still playing each other in a new Mortal Kombat game.
But we're seeing a lot of people around Europe picking this game up. I mean,
absolutely. Well, Madden, you know, 4th place.
We've just had Stunfest. We've just had Stunfest in France, where White Black, who is a very, very, very powerful Marvel 3 player, who is a consistent, like, first place player and consistent top 32 at EVO for Marvel 3, manages to make first at Stunfest with a really powerful Dragon's Fire Liu Kang. Like, we're seeing a lot of Europe pick this up. If you're not seeing him in ESL, you're seeing him offline at Combat Cup events or other events around Europe. Like, the world is embracing this game for what it is.
Well, we very recently had, we mentioned last week at the end of the stream, the 5,000 pop hot bonus UK exhibition that happened this past weekend, where Foxy took that. But oh my days, that was close. Grand finals. Undead Jim versus Foxy in Grand finals, where Undead Jim reset the bracket against Foxy. I mean, that was the first time we'd ever seen Foxy lose a set in tournament, and it was to Undead Jim's Jacks. 3-2. A really clutch X-Ray read actually pulled that one through in true Mortal Kombat fashion.
So we know this guy can lose sets.
Exactly.
We know he can lose sets.
But going into this next game now, which is going to be a Foxy Grandpa versus Mr. Aquari, you have 3 minutes as of now to make your predictions. In a Twitch chat, !predict, followed by the points you'd like to spend, followed by the player you think will win the set. As I've mentioned earlier, you know, the higher you place, the more points you earn, increases your chance of winning some WB games, electronic digital games.
Cool. So Mr. Aquari versus Foxy Grandpa. Mr. Aquari seems to have really settled on Sonya Blade. But it's a question of which variation, because he plays Spec Ops, Special Ops even, and Demolition. A bit of Demolition. Actually, no, speaking, I forgot he played Demolition, so he plays all 3 variations. We've seen him play, you know, cover ops for the
matchup specific
switch.
Once again, matchup specific.
Yeah, again, like we've seen him play cover ops for the military stance, for the reads, for just the raw damage you get conventionally, but then he goes to spec ops for matches that he needs to really get some projectiles on the screen to get some long distance game plan. But that's not really going to help him as much against Kung Lao, because we are going to see Kung Lao in this set. There's no way Foxy's playing anyone but Kung Lao right now.
I mean, this is the character that has really helped Foxy really make a name for himself in Mortal Kombat X.
He's really refining Buzzsaw Lao.
This guy's won 7 tournaments. You know, 7 tournaments since the game has come out. I mean, he's no joke. He's here to play, and he has done since Mortal Kombat 9. He has done since Injustice, and he's going in just as hard with MKX. Speaking of Foxy, we'd like to remind you guys once again of the fan voting system, where 8 players have been selected. Foxy Grandpa and Nivek being 2 of those 8 players, where you can choose up to 4 players to be sent to Burbank for a $10,000 tournament. Foxy is narrowly behind Tyrant in 5th place.
And Nivek is only a couple % behind as well. Like, we need to get these 2 Europeans there.
So once again, at the risk of sounding extremely biased, if you go to esl.gg/MKX fan choice, you can vote for any player you'd like to be sent. Hopefully, Foxy or Nivek. To get,
or
both. To get them sent to Burbank. And we see all the time, people say UK versus US, Europe versus US, all this stuff. I mean, this really now is your chance to make that happen. Outside of the Pro League, you know, the qualifying points. I mean, you have an option right now to get these guys sent there and really try and just have a good tournament. You know, it's going to be a piece of competitive history.
Well, you can vote for your dream matches, your fantasy matches. Have you always wanted to see Foxy Grandpa versus Perfect Legend? Like, it'll be a Kung Lao mirror match. There's no way they'll pick different characters. Do you want to see Foxy get his run back with Rio? I mean, Foxy Grandpa eliminating Rio in Evolution 2012. Do you want to see that run back? Do you want to see them, you know, try that out in Mortal Kombat X? Do you want to see Nivek come up against Justin Wong? Do you want to see the Raider Mirror? Like, these are the matches you can vote to happen. If you want to see them, vote for them, and they might just take place.
Who knows? I mean, you know, we have a couple of days left. We have a couple of days left to get this voting stuff on the go. It's going to be great regardless of who gets selected. But I mean, you know, I personally would really love some versatility in there in terms of worldwide representation. But I mean, yeah, but Mr. Aquari is in this room ready to go. I do see him definitely still sticking with Sonya. I mean, he's found his comfort zone here. We knew he played a bit of Aaron Black, played a bit of Sonya. He plays a little bit of Melina as well, I believe. But I think Sonya is where he's getting his results. And Sonya is a very dangerous character. The one thing we saw from Mr. Aquari in the past was his lack of what we call hit confirming. Hit confirming basically is when you are doing a combo string and your follow-up is unsafe on block, but combos on hit. When you hit confirm something, you're looking to see whether that combo string lands or not. You're doing the string. If you see it land, on reaction, confirm to the next piece of the combo. And on block, leave it. Leave yourself neutral.
So if you're not hit confirming, you're just doing everything regardless. Like, let's say, for example, Sonya's overhead into military stance cartwheel. It's completely unsafe on block. If you're not hit confirming, you're just doing it anyway. Regardless whether it hits or blocks, you're doing that move. If you're hit confirming, you're doing the string, seeing it land, then going into the cartwheel. So that's what he didn't used to do, but he's beginning to do that now. We're seeing him really adapt that to his game plan, which is making him very dangerous.
Absolutely. I mean, if Sonya Blade players are hit confirming stuff, you know, she's got this hard to block mix-up game anyway. But if she's looking to see whether the string lands and is on reaction, committing into the next piece, I mean, that's when this character becomes really, really dangerous. Repping the Motherland costume, once again, Foxy Grandpa having his Connect microphone on. I spoke to him about this earlier last week, and he said he would not do it again. But here he is again, having his Connect microphone turned on.
Doing what
once again, we will once again have a stern word with this guy later on in the day. Foxy, I hope you watch your language.
Please, for the love of God, watch your language. Oh, that could be bad.
I spoke to him last time. He said that he did not know his microphone was turned on. He could have said anything. Oh, no. Foxy, come on.
Oh, hit confirm into the low this time.
Lovely, good stuff.
Bets for it. Again, this is the adaptation that we see Mr. Aquari have, that he makes.
Here we go, both players feeling each other out, being really careful right now. Here's that jump 2. I mean, the jump 2 has such an amazing hitbox on it. You're looking to see it land, but he converts into the dive kick. Whenever he lands a jump 2, whether you're in the air or not, he will convert that into a hard knockdown. I mean, Foxy really working on all of his confirms. Very dangerous stuff. Mr. Aquari looking to catch that, but doesn't quite get
a full jump in, but doesn't go for the full combo. Backs himself 12%. Brave parry for Mr. Aquari. Good read. Doesn't quite get it. And once again, unfortunately, it does miss. Missing himself. Meets it again. Oh, Mr. Aquari's really sticking it out there. Foxy's no doubt going to be able to recognize that's going on. But really
I think
smart play.
Foxy's already seen that he's done loads of parries. Gets hit by the overhead, though. Here comes Sonya's 50-50s. Doesn't quite get the combo either. That would have been big damage if he landed it. Foxy getting tagged by a lot of these 50-50s right now. Good block, but then gets tagged once again. Meterburn spin. Doesn't quite get his neutral jump either. Mr. Aquari goes into the raw military stance. Unfortunately, doesn't bag it for him. And it will cost him round 1, but really well played with Mr. Aquari. He's looking at a bar and meter here. Almost got 2. Almost got a break ready. Really good play from him. Really good adaptation. Good hit confirm into the combo. How much will he get from this? Oh, unfortunately, 18%. Doesn't quite get the neutral jump either. Both players dropping a few things. I mean, that jump 2 has such a good hitbox. Runs in, doesn't quite get it because Mr. Aquari gets a good jump in the dive kick.
But punishes the dive kick with the low hat.
One of the interesting things, Kung Lao can actually combo off that low hat if it lands. But obviously, in those situations where...
Well, if he sprints with it and makes the read that it's going to hit, that he can. But it can't be done on reaction. Not conventionally, anyway.
Full combo from Mr. Aquari into hard knockdown. What is the mix-up? Meterburn teleport just to throw him in the corner.
Does get core press and buttons. Cornered himself as Sonya, but manages to throw it straight back in.
That's one of the things that someone will always do. They'll corner themselves, then instantly do a throw into the corner. Because you realise that they're in the corner, so maybe it's your turn to start going nuts. And that's the jailing from the jump. I mean, something that Foxy gets so much mileage out of.
What a read on the parry. It's like Foxy Grandpa just in Aquari's head right now.
Oh, brutality in again. I'm pretty sure everyone that has watched Foxy play right now is sick of this brutality by now.
This brutality is no longer hype. It kind of just... He's going to say
learn from this.
Yeah, there you go. Like, that used to be interesting, but now it's kind of just...
But
cool.
Speaking of the match itself, though, Mr. Aquari he's quite risky there, being very risky, going for a lot of parries, but you can't parry jump-ins. I mean, that's one of the big deals, that you cannot parry a jump-in. I think Foxy acknowledging that, jailing with a jump-in into the teleport. Once again here, tries to wake up parry, but it just doesn't work. I mean, Kung Lao is in the air so often. I really think your chances of parrying Kung Lao may not be very strong anyway, because Meterburn spin, can't really parry that. A lot of the grounded normals, he's not really going to do them. He's going to go for jump-in attacks. And the jump 2 being such a strong normal.
It's just a read at the end of the day. Like, if he makes the read, if he's successful, he's successful. If it misses, tough luck, better luck next time. But if you're doing stuff like that, it will limit your opponent's options from attacking you. If you're going for parry every time, they will hesitate to attack, and that might be all you need to win that round next time, It's conditioning, it's putting that in your opponent's head.
Enforcing the threat.
Enforcing the threat. Enforce it as an option. I mean, going into game 2 now, Mr. Aquari is sticking with Sonya in the same variation, but he's got games to work with. He's only 1 down at the moment out of a 3 out of 5 set. He's got games. Backdash is chased down with the low hat once again.
Again, more sort of conservative. Foxy sort of sitting on that mid-screen, gets tagged by the overhead. This will be a full combo from Mr. Aquari. Lovely Meterburn restand, but too far away to capitalise. Commits the dive kick, the cartwheel anyway, but does get the hit. Foxy tries to convert, but was unable to sprint, so he had to try and dive kick, but was too far away.
Just the jailing again into the throw.
Combos off the low hat. I mean, that's one of the sneaky things. Throw a low hat and run in with it. On block, you get a good situation.
Oh, wow. The overhead does catch him behind. Crazy hitbox. No hat on his head. Doesn't utilize timing. That's something you really have to do against Kung Lao. Is when you realize the hat has not respawned, go in. With no hat on his head, Kung Lao cannot low hat. He cannot spin. It really limits his options defensively and offensively. Make the most of that time when it hasn't respawned.
We haven't seen Foxy go for too many Meterburn spins, but honestly, he really hasn't had to go to it very much. This will take out the round. But Mr. Aquari just... he's making some interesting reads. But it's
just not paying off for him. That's what's happening. Gets the overhead. Good read, but no. Unfortunately, doesn't commit into the cartwheel in time.
Or goes for the low. Cheeky low. Gets an overhead once again. This will be a full combo. What is the setup? What is the mix-up? What comes next? That's the question.
Meterburn teleport. Again, it worked last time and it worked again. Foxy Grandpa now completely out of that situation. Ooh, does get the jump punch. Into overhead again. Good. Confirmed by Mr. Aquari. How much is he going to get from this? 25% into the corner carry. All commits into the low, but unfortunately doesn't quite get the hit confirm either.
Interesting break. Chooses to opt to break that. Gets a good sweep. Gets the round as well. I mean, that was a risky break. but Mr. Okorie does pull that through, and I guess the reality there is that Sonya doesn't really need meter to do damage. That's one of the things that she can do.
In combat ops, as long as she's got military stance, she's going to hurt you. If she catches that standing string and she converts, she is doing damage.
I think Foxy might try and run in with the low hat once again. Mr. Okorie caught sleeping on that low hat.
Oh, dash into 50-50.
Oh, tries to whip punish.
Could be a burn spin. I mean, just at that range, it still works. It's just such a powerful option. Hit confirms into the spin. 22%, not too much, but he gets the hard knockdown in the corner, which is what he needs. No whip punish, Mr. Okorie, but he gets the overhead anyway.
This is quite big. I mean, drops the combo, but it doesn't really matter because he still gets the confirm.
Oh, whiff punish with the wake up meter burn spin. No meter now. Foxy Grandpa does catch it. Foxy going to the wake up jump as an often option.
The good use of the armor there. Foxy knowing he was going to build the bar for the meter burn hat, but Mr. Okorie with a really good armor through. Lovely run just to get under that.
He needs to keep it together. Now he's got low health. Like the dive kick will get him a lot of damage, but on whiff punish that will cost him quite dearly.
I'm certain that parry was an executional error.
Or he was trying to build meter. He is close to one bar. That could be all he needs.
Oh, tries to do the environment interaction. Foxy gets a run. I'm not sure if that was an error or not. So many jump twos.
Oh, he bets on the hat.
He was waiting for it. Foxy was waiting for it that time.
He was building bar. That's why he was doing the parries. He was trying to build a bar. What is Sonya going to be building that bar for? It's not going to be dive kicks. It's not going to be arc kicks. It's going to be for the parry. So as soon as you see him get that, that's then the option you wait for, and that's what happened.
It was a make or break parry, really. I mean, if you land the parry, you get good damage. I mean, she gets a full combo from a meter burn parry,
but
which would have won the game.
That's 2 games. It's been break. It is make or break, but that's 2 games in a row. It has cost him. So that's 2 for 2 now. It has cost him the game. So we're going to have to see if he plays a bit more calm. Will he possibly change character or variation? We'll have to wait and see.
I think one of the things we see here is that Mr. Okorie is being more careful. No, he's not being
doing
as
well.
explosive.
He's not getting walked all over. Like, he is putting damage on the table. He's bringing rounds to, he's taking rounds off Foxy. Like, he is doing well. He just needs to really slow himself down. Like, when he hasn't got the life lead, doing those dive kicks becomes quite predictable, and that's
especially if Kung Lao, if he's got meter burn for the spin as well. Kung Lao will meter burn spin those dive kicks if he's in range for it. But going into the next match, looks like once again Mr. Okorie has stuck with the variation. A good call, I think. Like I said, I don't think the variation was the fault of those losses, and he's going to just try and make the adaptation that is required. But meter burn, Buzzsaw Kung Lao building so much meter on all these block strings, but Foxy just all over him right now. Good block on the low, no anti-cross up spin, very uncharacteristic of Foxy there.
He had the 3 bars. There was no reason to not do it. Maybe he's just trying to get out of the corner and conserve it. All goes to the normal wake-up spin.
I imagine that was a meter burn attempt.
Unfortunately, that mistake has cost him 2 bars of meter and all of his sprint. Mr. Okorie's letting him get it back, playing very defensively right now.
Low hat, just checking the opponent. The range on that jump too, so strong.
Get the good trade. Mr. Okorie's actually taking these trades quite well, but he does need the full jump in, forced to break.
It's very easy to underestimate the range there. Very, very easy to underestimate the range on the sheer hitbox of that jump too. It's pretty nuts.
So match point, Foxy Grandpa looking to once again make it to the semi-finals over Mr. Okorie.
He's blocking the low hats really well. I mean, he's doing a good job of just not letting Kung Lao bully him as much. Tagged by the low.
I mean, he's got 3 full combos and Foxy Grandpa is still looking at over 50% health. I mean, that's the problem with dropping. Gets it this time.
Nice restand. Doesn't quite get the combos. He was literally both times there. I'm certain those strings were not what he wanted. I mean, it's heartbreaking when you spend the bar on the meter burn grab, but don't get the follow-up. Lovely patience, but no punish.
Confirms the event this time. And again, another drop. He's looking pretty broken right now. Mr. Okorie looks like he is not managing to keep it together. Dropping every combo, not getting punishes. Gets a full jump in. Like, this is looking bad for Okorie right now.
Kung Lao getting a clean punish on that dive kick. And once again, a whiff punish. I don't think he's going to try and let Okorie. He's doing all these single hits because he does not want Mr. Okorie to break. Because Mr. Okorie isn't going to break it now. But now he doesn't need to because he spent the bar. He lost the break, and that's what he needed.
Just like that, he takes game 3. It's unlikely to see Foxy giving the space, possibly fishing for brutality.
Maybe so, maybe so. I mean, in that situation there, what was really saving Okorie at the end of that game was the fact that he had a breaker. So Foxy was opting to go for the single hits, the little strings, the block strings, the grabs, which was saving him from the damage. The second Foxy saw Mr. Okorie had spent the bar on that,
it was confirmed. Full combo.
Exactly, full combo for breaking, and then you die. I mean, maybe it would have been almost better to save that bar, but I don't know.
So it looks like your top 4 today are Foxy Grandpa, Madzin, Sumerian, and Used for Glue. Really, really powerful top 4 here.
So we have UK, Greece, and Germany represented this time.
Wonderful. This is what you want to see. This is
diversity.
Well, it's like we've been saying the whole time. We want to see other players that we haven't seen come in and get far. this week, Madzin is that player.
And used for glue.
No, but I said like used for glue and Madzin. But I was talking more in terms of just overall international coverage.
Yeah, true, of course. But I mean, Madzin being such a strong Mortal Kombat 9 player, he was often seen as Germany's strongest player for MK9. Here he is in MKX making a serious splash, getting top 4 today. Used for glue making his ESL debut today as well with a really strong Sub-Zero. Again, one of our strongest MK9 players in the UK. Cyber Sub-Zero specialist in that game. Here he is using Sub-Zero, getting himself top 4. But going into this match, we have Sumerian versus Used for Glue. This is going to be a really good match. I mean, I know these guys have played each other quite a bit anyway. Sumerian has... As far as I'm aware, Sumerian has fought Used for Glue before, but Used for Glue has also fought Nivek. We know that Sumerian and Nivek share styles. The last time these guys, Nivek and Glue fought, it was even. But, Sumerian and Nivek are not the same person, so it depends on what the players are going to do.
Well, you guys now have 3 minutes to make your predictions. Do you think Sumerian's going to win, or do you think Used for Glue is going to be able to take it? The winner of this set will advance into Grandfinals, bagging themselves at least 75 placement points, a minimum of $300. So whichever player you think is going to win, do !predict, followed by the name of the player, the number of points you'd like to spend, and then the name of the player. Remember, successful predictions will result in you winning digital copies of Warner Brothers games, so best of luck with your predictions.
I mean, I'm excited for this next game. We're going to be setting up this game right now, getting these guys in the lobby ready to go. But I mean... This is no doubt going to be Thunder God Raiden versus Sub-Zero again. I've actually not... Although I've heard that Used for Glue and Nivek have fought very often, I've never seen it. So, I mean, I don't know how to call this match. Both players are very strong. When Glue and Nivek last fought, apparently they went completely back and forth. So, the second you throw in an online tournament, this tournament setting on them, the sets can always adjust and go completely different.
But I believe the set was pre-patch. And Used for Glue has always played Cryomancer, which is untouched in these patches. So will that help him here? Because in the day, like Thunder God Raiden, he's got 50-50s, he's got that godlike forward one, like he has the tools to win. But if you can compete with that because of armor, whatever, like, I mean, armor doesn't work too well against Thunder God Raiden because he chews it up quite a lot. However, we may see him take this set with a good Cryomancer play if he really spaces those downfalls, if he baits those armors, and he makes the most of those the frames that he gets on his Cryomancer.
We know that Used for Glue can play a little bit of Raiden too, and as we've said, this guy's very mathematical, so he's gonna be looking for reversals, he's gonna be looking for wake-up attack, he's gonna be looking for armored attempts, because he, as a Raiden player too, says to himself, if I was Raiden in that situation, would I do this? Would I grab? Would I do that? I mean, when you play a character and you're fighting it, in some respects, it's much easier to make those reads because you simply put yourself in that situation. I mean, that will not always, make or break your decision, but it definitely helps make the right choice in a situation where you think a wake-up might come, potentially like an armored reversal. Even if it's one string into another, if you play the character, it's much easier to make those decisions.
It's like we say so often, like if you play the character, it's just easier. It's just easier for you because you can put yourself in that opponent's shoes. I mean, if it's not the same variation, I mean, as long as you've got that fundamental understanding of the character, it just becomes a lot easier. But that said, Thunder God Raiden is still a powerful character. He still has the tools, he still has massive damage in comparison to a lot of other characters. Like, he's still got it to win. But then, so does Sub-Zero. Like, this could be a very even game, I hope.
You would like to think so. Yeah. It would make for a more exciting top 4. Absolutely. But I mean, for those joining us, welcome. We hope you guys are enjoying this tournament so far. This is week 4 of the ESL European MKX Pro League presented by Xbox. We are at the top 4. It's Foxy Grandpa, Madzin, Used for Glue, and Sumerian are your top 4 finalists.
Going into our first semi-final right now, which will be Sumerian versus Used for Glue. Both very powerful players with good tournament records behind them. They are now playing for the first and second place spot. First or second place spot, I should say, where they're going to try and go for at least 75 league points to help them get that one step closer to that top 5 for Europe in the top 16 final in Burbank, California, where they will play out for a minimum of $50,000.
For those at home that would like to get involved in these tournaments, they are free to enter and everybody can enter them. These are done weekly prize pots of $1,000, as we just mentioned. If you guys want more information, please go to esl.gg/MKX Pro League. You have plenty of time to take these guys on. If you're watching the quality of play today, if you're watching the players and sitting there thinking to yourself that you could take these guys on, feel free to prove it. Feel free to enter these tournaments from the comfort of your own home and show that you have what it takes to be one of these 5 European finalists that will be sent to Burbank for that minimum $50,000 prize pot.
That's what we want to see. We want to see new players sign up because they're open to anyone. They are every week. We're only 4 weeks into this right now. We have plenty of time for new players to come in place and get those points towards that top 5 for Europe because we've got 5 Europeans going to this thing. That is not a bad amount at all.
That's a big deal. I mean, normally at big tournaments, if a European was going to an MK tournament or an Injustice tournament, it would be 1, maybe 2 maximum. Here we have the chance for 5 players
to go together, no less.
5 players to go together. That's a big deal for Europe. I mean, it makes me very excited to see what's going to happen. I mean, Europe has always had a really strong scene, but we just never really, before X, we've never really had the chance to show that, really. Apart from those that are really tight-knit and understand the scene. Those outsiders may not have essentially been aware of the quality of play that we do have in players like Foxy, Sumerian, Nivek.
I'd like to say that in the button check, we have Sumerian going Cryomancer Sub-Zero and Use for Glue going Thunder God Raiden.
I got confused for a second. I got really confused.
I thought worried was the word I was going to use. Like, uh-oh. They've decided to swap it last minute.
They've decided to mess with us live on stream. But they are going to be setting up the next match now. Hope you guys enjoy the show. I mean, Cryomancer Raiden, I almost said. You confused me. Cryomancer Sub-Zero versus Thunder God Raiden. I mean, this will be a match of momentum. And a match of just trying to just stay away from Raiden's crazy footsie game. But you can only really do that for so long. He will get in and he will do some form of pressure to you, whether you like it or not.
So it will be Sub-Zero versus Raiden, as we assumed. Both players are trying to get into Grand Finals at this point. They've both bagged themselves at least $100, but they're looking to get at least $300 to $500 for first place. How is this going to go? Best of luck to everyone who's made your predictions, and hope you are successful.
Let's go.
Sub-Zero.
Oh, they're watching the intros too.
The Lin Kuei owe you a debt.
You will pay dearly. Round 1. Fight.
I'm hoping there's some kind of mythologies quote. Okay, so first hit will be very important here. Interesting read, but checks him with a down 4.
Sumerian does go to that neutral jump punch quite often as Raiden. So I'm doing a lot last week. It was costing him a lot of life as he was getting meteor burn spam for days for doing it. I'm not sure if Sub-Zero has quite an easy time of dealing with it. Does get it confirmed into the full corner carry.
He's in the corner. Doesn't quite get, that's going to be a full combo.
Not quite enough. Use for Glue goes for the wrong option, unfortunately. Goes to the meteor burn hammer. Does catch him blocking low. And again, another drop.
Just too far away. The string doesn't quite connect. Sumerian doing some good blocks. That'll be a full combo confirmed. Here comes Use for Glue. Good damage there. The Cryomancer only getting that combo string right there, which does more damage and leaves the opponent standing, but a lovely neutral jump from Sumerian.
First neutral jump from Sumerian that has bagged himself good damage this time.
What's the mix-up? That's the question. Tag low. Use for Glue has no breaker.
Oh, drops it again this time. Oh, catches the overhead. Round 1 to Sumerian with use of 50-50s.
I mean, that is always the threat of Raiden. Those 50-50s are so prominent. So very prominent. Here comes Use for Glue, tagging him with that string. Doesn't quite confirm to it. Jumps into the wake-up. Crazy hitbox on that move. And this will be corner carry into Sumerian's game once again.
Oh, goes to the whiff punish. Doesn't quite get it. Manages to catch that instead. Goes to the reset into the back 2. Another drop from Use for Glue. Fortunately, leaving massive damage on the table right now. Forced to break.
That's one of the issues. I mean, Cryomancer Sub-Zero does get good damage, but you need to land those combos first. But Use for Glue getting some very crucial drops right now. Tags him with the low. This could be the game.
There you go, the neutral jump just to take that. I mean, Use for Glue, he had the armor available, but not the health to take it. Unfortunately, that will go to Sumerian game 1. Really well played by him to get that game on the table. I mean, that is how the matchup's going to go. If Thunder God corners you, you are guessing. In that situation, you're taking that damage. You have to make that read. But Sumerian was just making really good reads in that point.
Exactly. But I mean, a big part of that was that Use for Glue got a lot of crucial hits, which could have led to a lot of damage. But unfortunately, he got those the crucial drops. He was getting the overheads, he was getting the back 2s, but wasn't quite getting the forward 4-2 grab as the end. That is really where the bulk of the damage comes from, is that final string. If you don't get the final string, you're losing out on a lot of damage, but because you've used a meteor burn hammer, you've also lost the bar. And, you know, the less bars you have, the less chance you can break against Raiden, who in the corner gets some really good damage into some really nasty situations.
But on the other hand, you know, we had Cryomancer, we had Sumerian. God, I'm saying it as well now. We had Sumerian getting some really good execution, some good damage, and that was winning him the rounds. I mean, it's like we say so often before, execution is so important. So if you're dropping your combos, you're missing out on damage. The rounds are taking longer than they should because of that.
Use for Glue has made the switch to Grandmaster. I've not really seen him pick too much Grandmaster because he spent so long playing Cryomancer. This should be quite interesting to see what Glue can do. Both players traded, so the first hit is still on the table. This will be a full combo.
Doesn't quite get another drop from Use for Glue. Ends up cornering himself by accident. That could have been intentional.
Oh, he's Superman straight through the clone. Sumerian does those all the time. We saw last week, got so much mileage out of that.
Oh wow,
risky
brave Superman dive from Sumerian. Good block on the low by Use for Glue. Commits into the shocker.
Sumerian risks it with the wake-up attack, but safe on block, so not too bad of a situation for him. Good timing on that clone. Oh, lovely armor, but a Superman charge anyway because it's so active.
Catches the overhead. Use for Glue opting not to break, saving the bar.
And then just trying to get himself out the corner. Sumerian does block in time. Very, very crazy. They managed to block that in time.
No, really good blocking the overhead by Sumerian. Good read. Knowing the spacing, the back 2 was the only one that was going to reach in that situation.
Oh, Sumerian, no fear. And that'll be a full confirm. Useful Glue once again finding himself in the corner. Sumerian's just placement of Thunder God is so strong all the time. Lovely overhead. Doesn't quite get the confirm, but doesn't matter anyway. Oh, Beast is down for again. Sumerian decides to block this time, but there's the armor to get out of the situation. Good confirm by Sumerian, getting a good damage on the table for that armor. Oh, and he freezes the Superman. This will just be a little bit of a combo damage. Get that 11%. So we're seeing a lot of drops that are costing some severe damage reductions. Oh, jumps into the grab. The hitbox in that grab, so strong. Sumerian once again on the verge of taking this 2-0 at the moment. Doesn't quite get the punish, but Sumerian sitting on the bar, and then he gets the neutral jump anyway. Hasn't got the meter to break, and it's coming back so slowly. That will be it for Sumerian. Looking 2-0 up on Useful Glue right now. I think the reality here is that Useful Glue needs to start doing those combos. He needs to start landing those combos. Because right now, I mean, he's landing hits, but he's, as we've mentioned before, he's landing a lot of hits, but not really getting the damage to count. Dropping a lot of those links, which, you know, if they worked, would put him in such a better situation. Not just for damage, but for screen positioning. He's dropping combos and finding himself in the corner against Thunder God Raiden, where you don't want to be. But, you know, Sumerian doing really well. You know, 2-0 up. This guy's no joke. He's looking a game away from managing to make it to Grandfinals once again, getting himself a lot of league points. I mean, he made second place last time. So if he wins this game, he's looking at least second again. I mean, he may even be able to win it this week over Foxy if he manages to get to Grandfinals. Useful Glue making the transition back to Cryomancer, having a bit of a variation crisis right now, I believe. But I think the important thing here is just getting that combo damage where it counts. Hopefully Useful Glue makes the adjustment. Sumerian just as strong as always, doing really well for himself right now. Hopefully Useful Glue can pull this back and give us a real good set. I mean, we've seen Sumerian make a lot of comebacks, but it's not really happened to him too often. So we'll see if we can make that swap today with Useful Glue. Useful Glue getting the first hit. Goes for the hammer. Needs to get the convert. Doesn't quite get the convert again, but doesn't matter because Sumerian gets tagged by it anyway. Oh, good bait from Useful Glue, but no confirm. Again, missing out on massive amounts of damage. Tags with the overhead. And that will get it. I mean, that's the difference. Like, if he dropped it there, that would have been like 15% instead of 31. That's the situation. Yeah, it pretty much doubles your damage. I mean, Sumerian, really interesting. Actually, corners Useful Glue. Now, what is the mix-up? That's the question. What's the mix-up? Gets the overhead, has to break. Opts to save his bar. Hit by the grab. Good throw by Sumerian. Oh, empty jump into grab. Opts to break now. It's quite a bad situation. Grabbed into the Thunderball. Sumerian finding himself on a match point right now against Useful Glue. Really smart stuff by Sumerian, just knowing he's waiting for it to catch that EX ball for the chip as well. Tags him with the overhead. This next combo gets the good damage. Hard knockdown. And that's one thing that Useful Glue will do, just chip you away. Unfortunately, the damage versus the damage that Sumerian is outputting is just so much more in Sumerian's favour. Lovely hit confirm into Superman charge. Oh, there's the missed hammer. Oh, tagged by the low. Here comes Sumerian. Does drop the combo, but catches the low anyway into the throw. Really good stuff by Sumerian, utilising this hit. Could be a full convert. That'd be so much damage. What's the next hit? Oh, tagged by down 4. Gets hit by the string. Useful Glue lives to fight another day, but barely. Still match point for Sumerian. Useful Glue really pulled something special out now to make this comeback. But forward one, such a good normal, catches the jump as well. Tagged by the overhead, here comes Sumerian. Really strong damage, Useful Glue opting to keep the bar. What is the mix-up? Oh, there's lovely neutral jump again. Sumerian just on point with those neutral jump reads. And again, a drop by Useful Glue. Catches his own neutral jump, but not quite enough on it. Doesn't have the stamina, but doesn't matter. This will be a full convert. Big damage, but Sumerian sitting on a bar. Good block on the overhead. Good block on the... oh, unfortunately doesn't get the jump and convert. Doesn't get the convert. This is huge. This could be Sumerian's game on this alone. And that will be it. Oh, unfortunately, Useful Glue again with the drop, which did cost him the set. Sumerian, well played. We'll move on to Grand Finals, where he's got himself minimum second place once again. I mean, that was quite a heartbreaker there. I mean, he gets the jump in, but doesn't commit to the string early enough. Doesn't get the early commitment on the string, and it unfortunately does drop. Sumerian taking that 3-0. Crazy good stuff from Sumerian. Once again, finding himself in Grand Finals. We could very well see a Foxy-Sumerian rematch if Madsen doesn't defeat Foxy in the semi-finals. Well, that said, we are going to be going to Foxy Grandpa and Madsen now for your second semi-final. I mean, I'd like to say well done to Useful Glue for getting 4th place today. He has bagged himself 50 placement points and $100. Hopefully we see him competing again in the weeks to come, and he'll hopefully be able to get that way to get closer and closer to
the Burbank Finals.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll be setting up this next match now. I mean, we are the final 2 games of the day, final 2 sets. It's going to be Foxy Grandpa versus Madsen. So that's going to be UK versus Germany. And then, depending on who wins the semi, we'll fight Sumerian in the Grand Finals. I mean, you'll bet anything that Sumerian is looking for that run back. You know, he wants to take this back against Foxy.
It was 3-2 last week. I mean, that's it. It was 3-2. It was so close. It was the closest finals we've ever had on the European ESL Weekly. So that might happen again today. Or will Madsen cause the upset of the tournament and eliminate Foxy Grandpa here in the semis?
Who knows? I mean, Madsen plays Sub-Zero, and we know that Foxy fights usefully a lot. Foxy is well acquainted with the Sub-Zero matchup, so it's going to be a game of Madsen really having... It's going to be... I'd like to say Foxy knowing a bit more matchup knowledge, but we don't know that Madsen fights Kung Lao. We don't know how much matchup knowledge he has against Kung Lao. So it's going to be a good set. Madsen's going to have to either acknowledge that he knows the Kung Lao matchup and try and play on what Foxy does, or adapt on the fly, which against Boss or Kung Lao can be pretty tricky. But Madsen, you know, he's good enough to be here in top 4, so he's good enough to pull it forward.
Well, we know he plays Grandmaster, and Grandmaster can really set up that defensive wall. I mean, against Kung Lao, like it gets rid of a lot of his mid-screen, like sort of options. Low Hat will chew up the clone quite significantly. However, if Sub-Zero has the life lead and that clone's on the screen, Kung Lao's going to have to be really careful about how he advances.
Absolutely. I mean, both players here setting up as always. I definitely think this, as you said, will be Grandmaster versus Buzzsaw. Kung Lao has no real way to make you block from full screen tracking wise, so the clone will be there, but the Low Hat might chew that up quite significantly. But Madsen, you know, he establishes corner game as all Sub-Zeros need to. So it's going to be a matter of trying to get those good reads, getting good reads on Meteorburn spin, punishing him, and just stopping Foxy from running that train and getting into your head, and then just being 2 steps ahead. But speaking of you know, making good reads, the prediction point system is ready to go now. You have 3 minutes as of now to make your predictions. If you think Madsen's going to win, you can vote for Madsen. If you think Foxy's going to win, then you can vote for him. This is done in Twitch chat. ! Predict, followed by the points you'd like to spend, followed by the player you think's going to win the set. Hope you guys have been successful so far. There are Warner Brothers games, digital games, to be won today. So hopefully you guys have been pretty successful, and good luck to everybody out there.
So, Sub-Zero, Kung Lao, once again. We've seen this so many times. There's
been a lot of Sub-Zeros.
There's been a lot of Sub-Zeros today. A lot more than we're used to seeing. But, I mean, I personally don't find Grandmaster as enjoyable to watch because of how often we're seeing it. But I respect it as a really powerful option.
It's a very strong character to pick. Very, very strong. It's just the threat of the clone. It's very strong. I mean, he'll especially when he's working in the corner. I mean, his corner game is still very good. The nerf has affected Sub-Zero, but evidently with, you know, Tom Brady placing really highly at Combo Breaker, consistent Sub-Zeros in the ESL tournaments, North America and Europe, you know, this character's still very strong, and they're still, I've said strong like 5 million times already, but the character is still very good and can still compete at a high level.
Well, the same can be said for Raiden. We've got Sumerian making second 2 weeks running. He's managed to win over GGA Dizzy, managed to win Raiden in a Combo Breaker against none other than Sonic Fox as well. So we're seeing it quite often. We're seeing like characters that have been nerfed still competing and still placing really well.
Absolutely. I mean, doing their button checks as always. But I mean, this if Sumerian get to Grand Finals versus Foxy, this is going to be pretty interesting because Sumerian, these Greek players, they do adapt a lot, and they learn from sets. I mean, Foxy does it too, but you know, seeing as it's there to be watched, no doubt Sumerian has gone home and watched those matches and has looked to how to improve. So if Foxy does manage to pull this through against Madsen and give Sumerian that run back, you know, I'd be very excited to see what Sumerian does differently, almost, because the one thing that really cost Sumerian the set was the excessive jumps. As we said before, if Kung Lao has bar, you cannot jump against Kung Lao because he will meet a burn spin you all day.
It's hard not to jump because you want to do it sometimes. You want to think, at this one moment, he is going to come in, he's going to do something forward, he's going to jump himself when I'm going to beat him. But then he's standing there and he's waiting for it, and then you get hit by the spin. Like, it's so hard to just stop yourself from doing it because on the ground, Low Hat's a problem. In the air, jump 2's a problem. So you might think,
well, Low Hat's always a problem. Everywhere on screen.
So a lot of time when you see people jumping at Kung Lao, like, you know, just straight towards him, it's on a read of him doing something that the jump's going to beat. However, neutral jumps were another thing that were costing Sumerian a lot of damage. And we saw him doing that a lot, but as the set went on, he did it less and less and less, and he managed to make these really good comebacks in those rounds when he was just playing it a lot more safe.
Absolutely. I mean, both players almost ready to go. But But I think, you know, Foxy, as we've said, knows the matchup. Madzin, I don't know how many Kung Laos Madzin has faced against before. But, you know, he's good at adapting. As I've said before, for those that may be new, Madzin, pretty much the best player in Germany. Many people would regard him as for Mortal Kombat 9. He was, you know, widely regarded as the strongest Noob Saibot player in Mortal Kombat 9. And Noob Saibot was not a good character in MK9 at all. He struggled a lot, but Madzin made it work. Went all the way to MLG in America and did very well for himself there. And he has what it takes to compete. Here he is in Mortal Kombat 9, picking a different character. Obviously, Noob Saibot's not in this game, so he's now rocking with someone else. Rocking Sub-Zero. I had a lot of Sub-Zeros here today. And he's good enough to be in top 4. So, you know, he's definitely good enough to take on Foxy and give him a run for his money.
Looks like he's looking to stick with Grandmaster, as we predicted. We see another Buzzsaw Kung Lao versus Grandmaster Sub-Zero. I mean, this is a matchup that I know Foxy Grandpa has. I actually know these guys play quite regularly on PS4 as well. So these guys, like, they play online a lot together. I really like Madzin's MK3 stuff. That was the game that got us involved into Mortal Kombat. I love how they put that in. It's that's
so
amazing.
Cool.
I like seeing that.
There is no knowledge, there's not power.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay, here we go. So Foxy always trying to establish that. He seems to back away more so against a new opponent.
I think he wants that life lead, because he knows that Sub-Zero can't really bring it to him from full screen. He wants to get that life lead and sit on it, especially when he knows that Sub-Zero doesn't have the meter.
Absolutely.
Oh wow, raw down 2 from Madzin. Really risky stuff.
That was an MK2 uppercut, that one. Oh, we have full confirm into the meter. Foxy putting him in the corner, and here comes once again Buzzsaw Kung Lao at his finest in the corner.
Again,
Establishing that space.
He's not interested in going in because he knows that all Sub-Zero needs to do is throw you once or just jump over to get that corner pressure of his own. So Foxy's just trying to play this mid-range game, just trying to stay away from the corner because he knows he can win from this range instead.
Oh, a lovely read on that low hat. Runs in with a jump. That's going to be a full convert. And Foxy's going to find himself in the corner. Foxy opting to break. It was an interesting break. I mean, he wasn't going to take too much damage from that, but I think
it was the positioning he did it for.
Exactly.
He knew he'd end in the corner, and Madzin plays really well when he's got the opponent corner.
Instant air teleport into the overhead, catching Madzin sleeping. Again, that patient game where Foxy has the life lead, and he's just sitting on it. And a lovely anti-air. Lovely anti-air.
Knowing the low hat recovers quick enough that if you walk forward with it and they try and jump over it, you will get a clean anti-air, but not if it's timed just like that. Madzin really good with the jump, and he will down forward to the clone himself.
Oh, tags him again. Hit confirm into the meter burn. Hard knockdown. Has no bar for the low hat, but I think he banked on Madzin doing that regular wake up.
This could be the biggest mistake he's made all week.
Oh, Madzin dropping the combo, unfortunately, but doesn't really matter. Gets the full jump in anyway. Here comes Madzin.
And again, another drop.
Costly combo drops that you just don't want to make. And in those situations where Foxy acknowledges that Madzin is waiting for a wake-up spin, you can get away with that meter burn, that wake-up teleport.
Oh, just clean standing spin to anti-air for the round.
As I've mentioned earlier, I mean, if Kung Lao has bar, I mean, that wasn't even a meter burn spin, but if Kung Lao has bar, you just can't jump. You can't jump against him because he's always going to tag you.
But again, like something I feel we should point out, we're seeing a lot of combo drops still. A lot of combo drops, which is costing round after round after round.
This late in the competition, you need to make your damage count.
You just can't see that. You can't see that happening when there is so much on the line as well. I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where a combo drop costs you a set.
Absolutely.
And then later when the league is over, and you find that you're like 5 or 10 points away from being in that top 5, you'll think to yourself, if only I didn't drop that combo.
That
I
one
would be
combo.
there.
But one thing that's one of the things that seems to separate Foxy at the moment from a lot of the people he fights. He doesn't drop a lot of his combos. He'll drop the odd ender, where the bulk of the damage has already been done, but a lot of the drops we're seeing are very early on in combos where...
Same with Sumerian. Sumerian was on point with his execution.
Exactly. So we're seeing a lot of situations where that difference between...
Unbreakable.
Unbreakable. Interesting stuff. Presumably he doesn't want to take the chip from the low hat. I mean, that's one of the things.
Another drop, bagging himself 14%. I mean, I don't want to point it out. I don't want to seem like I'm just, you know, pointing out the flaws. But when you're seeing it game after game after game, it is going to cost people games.
Foxy didn't have the meter to do the meter burn spin there, so Madzin acknowledging that and going for the jump in.
Oh, really good prediction on the ice ball from Madzin.
Nice combo there. Going into the slide, hard knockdown, keeping Foxy in the corner. Oh, doesn't quite get the combo there. Gets the back 3, but because he does the back 3 into regular ice ball, that will not combo. Foxy not having a hat, so converting off that was very difficult. I don't think Foxy was expecting the change of sides there.
Oh, good read on the meter burn spin from Madzin. Just gets completely out of there. Now sitting at a full meter advantage with the ice aura. He's got a really good amount of health right now. This combo probably won't kill him with the aura. Oh, but the follow-up will. Madzin is looking at 3 bars of meter right now.
Round 2.
presumably Madden has gone unbreakable to really just prevent this bullying that Kung Lao was doing. Like the full screen low hats and all that stuff. Eliminating the threat of any of the chip. Lovely reactions on the low hat. Really good reactions. That jump back too. Such a strong defense tool. Just to establish that space. That'll be a full hit confirm. It's a hard knockdown. Foxy very rarely having meter actually, so he can't actually go for those meter burn low hat shenanigans that he goes for. Yeah, good trade to the low hat. Meter burn spin, that won't take the round because he has got a breaker available. I mean, there's very patient games right now. Both players being extremely patient right now. Doesn't have a chance to get the ice armor. Lovely back two, just tag the overhead there. A lot of patience right now. This could be quite important. Oh, good block on the hat. Did cost Fox's Grandpa on the bar. Nice clutch block. Blocks right in time, but again, because he's unbreakable, just takes no chip damage. So he's still in a good situation. Madsen knows he can be patient. Tagged by low hat. Oh, overhead, low hat. That was a great sequence right at the end. I mean, just extreme patience, extreme defense, and really making that exchange of hits that Foxy normally does not as much of a problem because of the lack of chip damage in Unbreakable. I mean, that was a good cool gun Unbreakable. It helped him very much at the end there, but then just finally got tagged by that crucial overhead and then lost the game.
That's when we see the change in variation making that much of a difference. I mean, when you know Grandmaster, like all you get is the clone, and you understand that the clone doesn't give you anything in that matchup, that's when you then get the opportunity. I'm going to change my variation because the clone is no longer giving me anything, so I'm wasting my variation by picking them. And then you make the change to Unbreakable, and you can just block everything, just like that. Take no chip. I mean, yeah, he builds a meter, but no chip means that you're fine. Like, it's easy for you to stay composed when you're not taking chip damage.
You're not being as horrendously bullied by him, but then right at the end there, that's what we saw there, right at the end where the lack of chip damage was really helping him out, but just tagged by the overhead, and that's all it took. Overhead having such amazing range on it. I mean, one thing to point out, when the hat misses you from mid-screen, you really can't get it back until the hat returns on his head. So I mean, it's something you can be very patient with. It's something you can be very, very patient with. But if you see the hat whiff from mid-screen, you can go in because he has no hat. He can't spin, he can't throw a low hat. And he's a lot more free to your mix-up. But here we go, Foxy Grandpa just being so aggressive right now, keeping Madden, and he's now in the corner. Madden has meter to wake up attack with, but this is not where Madden wants to be. Gets tagged by the overhead. This will be a full convert. Full confirm. Here comes Foxy. Interesting parry. I mean, Madden just very much getting overwhelmed right now. I think he's getting very overwhelmed. It's looking very much all Foxy right now, unfortunately.
Match point, Foxy Grandpa. It looks like it will be a Sumerian Foxy rematch in the grand final at this point. There you go, Foxy forced to break right there. Makes the read and the teleport. No full confirm from Madden. Another drop. Do not want to see him costing rounds at this point, but Madden goes in the ice armor. Really good use of that to guarantee
Madden
it.
seems a little bit flustered right now. I mean, that was the one combo he needs. He now has Foxy in the corner. Oh, tagged by the punish. I mean, that is a clean punish, I do believe, on the overhead. Back to his punishable by Kung Lao. Here comes low hat. Oh, trade to down 4 with the low hat. Interesting grab there, sending Madden, presumably, yeah, full screen. Catch him with the grab. The jailing on that jump 2, so strong. Full combo. Madden needs to make this one count. Now he gets the combo when he needs it. This next touch.
Corners himself against Kung Lao. That's not where he wants to be in the Mii-Bun spin. Good break from Madsen to just keep himself in this bit.
And he has it. He tries to end the air with the Mii-Bun slide, or the regular slide, but then touched by the jump in and tagged. He cornered himself right at the end. I mean, that was crucial. That was a crucial mistake.
Foxy Grandpa, he noticed, capitalized, and won the round through that one read. What a set, though. I mean, 3-0 to Foxy Grandpa. Once again, we see him doing this a lot. I mean, this guy seems pretty unstoppable right now in these online leagues. That said, he is now up against Sumerian, who
the guy that almost beat him.
3-2 last week. We saw it in a really close set. Sumerian looks like he's really looking to bring his A game this week. But as a replay in the last match we saw Madsen gets that good ice armor into that.
Here's the situation.
At this point, it was all Madsen. It was all Madsen right here. But he cornered himself. That was it. That was the situation. That is what brought it to Foxy. And he got the jump in. Madsen went for the anti-air with a normal slide, but Kung Lao's jump too. Such a good hitbox to just completely chew it up to end with the brutality.
Those crucial moments. I mean, I think people are sleeping on Kung Lao at the moment. I hear from a lot of people, they say that Kung Lao is bad. People think that Kung Lao...
Oh, he's like mid-tier.
They think he's mid-tier. They say he barely breaks top 10 as a character. And I think this character is serious business. He's a very strong... He's very, very strong. I think he's generally slept on because he controls the ground. You cannot jump in on this guy at all, as long as he's got meter. He controls the space. And he has an amazing corner game. And he... In the hands of a really good player, the reads you can make with Kung Lao are so insane.
That being said, we are now moving into our grand final set where we're going to have Foxy Grandpa have his rematch with Sumerian, the guy that almost beat him last time. So you have 3 minutes to start your predictions now. This will be the final prediction of the night. So best of luck to everyone who's trying to win those digital copies of Warner Brothers games. You now have 3 minutes to make your predictions. Best of luck. This will be the last time you get to do so today.
Hope you guys have been successful so far. As I've mentioned, you have one more chance to do this. Fingers crossed you guys can win some cool stuff. There are some digital Warner Brothers games to win, so it's all good. We would like to talk about one extra thing before the Grand Finals begin. The fan voting tournament, which is coming up very soon. It's only open for a couple more days. 8 players from around the world have been selected, and you can vote for 4 of them. Foxy and Nivek are actually 2 among those players. And it's esl.gg/MKX fan choice, of which you can choose these characters and try and get them sent to Burbank, where they'll play out for $10,000.
This is your opportunity to see dream matchups that you normally couldn't see. Like, this could potentially be our last time, our one and only time, to see Foxy Grandpa and Nivek come up against Justin Wong, Perfect Legend, Rio, Tyrant, Forever King, like Dink, and Shijinkadink from Canada.
Shijinkadink.
It's hard to say fast. It is.
It is.
He's a consistent player that regularly places top 16 in the North American side of the ESL Online League. So this could be your last chance to see these guys compete against each other. So if you want to see Foxy and Nivek, really see if they can bring it to the American side of things, and get them voted in, give them this opportunity to play, and I'm sure we'll see some crazy sets in return.
No doubt. I mean, but the Grand Finals here, Thunder God Raiden versus Buzzsaw Kung Lao.
Once again, just like last time.
As always, like last week. I mean, I would be very surprised, again, if they didn't pick these characters. Sumerian's character really is Thunder God Raiden. He's been getting so much results out of this character so far, doing really well for himself. Foxy, he's won 7 tournaments since the game has come out. He's won himself, this past weekend, Foxy won the UK 16-man Invitational in a real nail-biter of a Grand Finals where Undead Jim from Birmingham actually reset the bracket against Foxy 3-2. The really clutch X-ray read right at the end to close out that set and reset the bracket. Unfortunately, Foxy did still pull that back, made the necessary adjustment and won the whole set. But the fact is, Foxy can be beaten in a set, and Undead Jim proved that last weekend. We have the Mortal Kombat Cup at the end of this week where Foxy will fight against Undead Jim, used for glue, and whoever the London winner is, and we'll see him, more action of Foxy there as well. But in this finals, could this be the first time Foxy has lost in tournament? We'll have to find out.
We've seen it so far. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, anyone in this league we've seen on stream so far has taken it that close to Foxy has been Sumerian. So we'll see if this will be the time. Otherwise, Foxy Grandpa will have 4 wins in a row. 400 points, $2,000. This guy will be making some serious dollar through Mortal Kombat X if he wins this.
Getting that MK dollar through playing video games at home.
And then Sumerian, again, a Greek powerhouse, plays with the Greeks so often. They have so many characters covered on such a high level. Kung Lao is one of them. They know this matchup as well.
Tries to get the first hit. Sumerian. Oh, the run in mid. That's something that Raiden would do. Oh, commits into the low. Foxy Grandpa caught, not fuzzy guarding there. Does catch the jumping too. A lot of neutral ground here. And that's jail again. That jailing from the jump in into the teleport. For some reason, that was so hard to get out there. Sumerian looks like he's going to that neutral jump from full screen again. I think he did it on prediction of a teleport in that situation. Foxy Grandpa had no sprint. Oh, does manage to lose the air tag. One thing Sumerian does really well, hit confirming that jump kick into the Superman dive. He read the teleport, but he neutral jumps too early before he comes out, and that will give Foxy the full teleport. Oh, lovely grab there, just to reset. I doubt Sumerian's going to spend the bar on this wake up. Oh, wake up grab. Foxy actually running into the corner. Interesting stuff there. Oh, lovely counter poke. How much damage will we get from this? 20% damage. Got too much, but he catches the overhead. On the drop to cost him the round. Will this be it? Oh, just like that. And Sumerian will lose the round. That was his. I mean, scrambles like that can happen. I mean, Foxy tried to punish, but the string was just too far away and didn't quite get the combo punish he was after. But, in that situation, you just got to shake it off. Lovely read on that neutral jump punch. Sumerian always getting really good results from that neutral jump. And again, reading the teleport, but neutral jumps too early. Here comes Foxy, put in the corner. Here comes Sumerian. Corners himself. I'm not sure that was a great idea. And he corners it. Right, puts Foxy in the corner with the grab. Great stuff. Full hit confirm into spin.
Managed just to get himself out of the corner. Foxy hasn't quite got the sprint to follow up on that conversion.
Lovely grab reset. I mean, the pressure of Foxy is quite remarkable. It's very overwhelming.
Oh, bad read from Sumerian, but no full punish from Foxy Grandpa. And then there's the whiff punish, the meter burn spin, hard knockdown, 1 bar ready. Will this be it for Foxy Grandpa?
No hit confirm into Superman charge. We normally see Sumerian go to that all the time. Lovely counter poke with the Superman charge. What is the mix-up?
Oh, wow.
No mix-up necessary because the combo will kill. Great stuff.
Clutch execution from Sumerian to tie this up 1 round apiece. Oh, he's caught whipping strings, and that will be a full whiff punish by Foxy Grandpa. Ending in again, the hard knockdown, has the bar to spend, opts not to use it.
Here comes Foxy with the pressure. Meter burn low hat just to make himself plus 10. Doesn't quite get the read on the jump. Sumerian jumps out of the corner, but then thrown straight back in by Foxy. What a sequence.
Oh, and that's the armor. It breaks armor so much, just the 2 hits so often.
Lovely hit confirm onto that Superman. Here comes the hat. I mean, this is quite a problem. Good block there, though. Really smart block. Grab reset.
Looking bad for Sumerian right now. He's got 1 bar ready, but Foxy Grandpa has significant life lead. That might not be enough. We're looking at a meter burn spin at this point, I'm sure. Oh, and he commits into the grab.
Sumerian has to block this hat, but then the chip alone might kill him. Gets the down 1 he after.
And there's the low. Meter burn spin is ready. Oh, and there's a normal
regular spin.
That must have been a meter burn spin attempt to beat the neutral jump, but it didn't quite get it. But it does collide with a normal spin.
I respect the attempt. I respect the attempt because Sumerian must have thought that a meter burn spin was coming. So I feel like the neutral jump might have been to try and
make it miss.
Try and make it miss, and then on recovery of the spin, neutral jump, and then get a combo. I respect the attempt thoroughly, but unfortunately didn't quite pay out. Foxy got a regular spin and did add that neutral jump. Good stuff. I mean,
again, that's going to
that wasn't a super dominant round. I mean,
not at all.
There were a few combo errors there. There were a few reads that were made but weren't quite followed up on. And you know, Sumerian, as always, still in this. Sumerian was 2 games down last week, and he made a full comeback and was on the verge of beating Foxy 3-0 in a true grand final comeback, which would have been incredibly exciting to watch. I mean, you know, Sumerian, he does seem to go into like ultimate god mode when he's down in games.
I mean, that happens sometimes. Like when you've got double elimination, for example, when you've got the losers bracket, we often see players really sort of bring their A game once they're in losers. They realise that, okay, my tournament life is on the line. But in situations like this, you're technically always in losers because it's a single elimination thing. So you always have to really bring it like that. But first take will go to Sumerian. He already has Foxy Grandpa cornered. No mix-up, just spills the bar. Not quite enough, gets the overhead though. Really good confirm from Sumerian.
Full combo, what's the mix-up? Question is, what's next? Goes for the mid. Lovely grab reset, keeping Foxy in the corner. Lovely read on that teleport.
That was a reaction.
Sequence.
That was no read. That was pure reactions from Sumerian. Normal wake-up spin, not enough. Flawless victory by Sumerian as well. What a statement to make when you're trying to make that comeback.
That was a fantastic sequence from Sumerian there. And the question is, what comes next? Foxy throwing Sumerian in the corner. Is this Foxy's round?
Wake up armor.
Opts to wake up there, but wasn't quite successful. Jump 2 does miss.
And another grab. It's going to start adding up very soon if he catches more of those.
Each grab does 12%. I mean, you know, get tagged by a few of those and you've lost significant life.
Oh, good block from Sumerian, but again, no real capitalizing on it.
Oh, goes for the low hat. That'll be a full punish.
Read. Max damage standing from Foxy Grandpa here.
36% meterless into hard knockdown. Fortunately, because Sumerian did jump over, though, the low hat didn't quite go the direction it was going to go because it was already committed to the left-hand side.
Neutral jumps. You're looking at meter burn spin range. Neutral jumps might be quite risky. No capitalizing. Oh, good read. No punish once again.
Oh, Sumerian does not get the punish. What a costly punish mistake. Tagged by the forward 1. I mean, this is a bit of a scramble at the moment. And he gets the regular hat.
He mustn't be happy with that round. That was his round to take, but he dropped his combos consistently as well.
Sumerian sitting on full bar. Kung Lao only has 1. Foxy only has 1 bar of meter, so this could be very much in Sumerian's favour if he just gets going.
Good read with the armor by Sumerian. Yes, there we go. There's the 30% that he needs.
Oh, wake up spin once again. I'm not sure if Foxy's going for meter burn spins and just not getting it. But speaking of meter burn, here comes a meter burn spin as another wake up attack.
And there's the jailing once again. Oh, and the meter burn spin to punish that. Does force a break, but Foxy Grandpa looking at no meter, but he will get the full convert, which will take this 2-0. Foxy Grandpa is 1 game away from winning 4 consecutive ESL online leagues.
The scary thing is when Foxy gets going, his conversions are crazy good. As you saw there, he capitalized on a jump in 2 when the opponent was already in the air, into a dive kick, into a string.
That's a Kung Jin conversion, using the dive kick to make anything convert.
20%. A 20% conversion into a hard knockdown from the string that he used at the end there. I mean, when Foxy seems to be in his stride, every hit counts. Even if the hit should not really turn into a full combo, but he makes it work. And that's the scary thing. Like, no hit goes unpunished when Foxy's playing Kung Lao and Buzzsaw properly. When he gets going and doesn't drop any of his combos, no hit goes untouched. Like, you take big damage the second he touches you anywhere on screen.
But again, that was Sumerian. A lot of those games, they were Sumerian's rounds. They were his games, but the combo drops were adding up so quickly.
Absolutely.
And that was just, it really just cuts your damage in half if that's the sort of thing that's going on.
Both players instantly going in for a rematch. Thunder God Raiden versus Buzzsaw Kung Lao. Once again, Foxy gets the full convert into the spin.
This was the exact same situation Sumerian was in last week, and we saw him make 2 game comebacks. Will he do the same thing again this week? Good reactions with the armor to get through that.
This will be a full convert once again. Neutral jump punch, dive kick into the string, hard knockdown. Foxy going to go in for some more pressure. Sumerian opting not to spend any bar, tries to just jump out, but that string does choose straight through jumps. Tries to meet burn spin, but again,
that's
no
3
punish.
for 3. 3 for 3 spins going unpunished, unfortunately. Oh, and that, again,
tournament
potentially
point,
costing the round.
I mean, we're seeing a different Sumerian here than we did last week. Foxy's just been all over him, but the important thing here is that Sumerian is not punishing spins correctly.
Just the convert.
He's making the reads, that's the thing. He's making the reads, but he's not quite getting the payout afterwards.
Lovely armor.
Here comes Sumerian. Counter poke once again.
At the very least, if you drop that combo, you at least build a bit of a bar of meter, which with Thunder God Raiden, you can build it anyway. But when you've got the armor, you've got the wake-ups, you get breakers, that's what you need in this sort of situation, but he's bringing it back. Oh, and the wake-up throw from Foxy will corner him.
I mean, that was really smart. That was really smart stuff. Foxy was wake-up grabs all day from both players. Lovely read on the spin. That was what he was going after.
Unbreakable throw. Really smart stuff from Sumerian.
That was throw central right there. But a lovely, lovely read on the wake-up meat burn spin.
Full punish.
Is Sumerian doing what he always does and goes into God mode when he's match point down? Are we going to see a meat burn low hat? No, he opts back off. Just stay out of the corner. That was smart stuff. Here comes Foxy.
Four pressing buttons. Caught overhead. The hit confirmed from Foxy.
Looking bad for Sumerian right now. This next combo will kill Sumerian here and win Foxy his 4th ESL in a row.
Quite enough. Blocking the dive kick, but no punish, and that will cost him the game.
Meter burn spin, as always, into a Foxy Grandpa brutality. 3-0. Foxy Grandpa from the UK is your 4th consecutive ESL EU Pro League winner.
Can no one stop this man? Can no one beat him in this situation?
Not at the moment, evidently. I mean, this guy's on a rampage right now. Sumerian, there were shades there where he was really onto something, but I think those crucial combo drops and those crucial lack of punishes in the first 2 games were very important. But as you can see here comes the sequence. Foxy opting to just meter burn, the low hat, going for pressure. Sumerian gets a good jump out, but then once again doesn't quite get the punish, and then Foxy acknowledges that and goes in for meter burn spin to win the entire tournament. 4 in a row. This guy is unstoppable.
That now brings his tally up to 400 league points. At this point, it is safe to say he is secured in that top 5 for Europe. I can't see it going any other way right now, because he has 400 points in right now. That is a lot of points, especially for at this point, it's the most you can possibly have. He has more league points than anyone in the ESL League right now.
Absolutely. I mean, he's undeniably the player to beat. I mean, speaking of Foxy right now, I'd like to mention one last time the fan voting system. If you've seen Foxy play today and you really want to see Foxy take on some of the best the US has to offer, you can do esl.gg/MKX fan choice. There are 8 players that you can choose from. Foxy and Nivek are 2 of those players. If you want to vote for those guys, you can get them sent to Burbank, California next week, where they'll play out for $10,000 in a 4-man tournament. Not everyone will be sent, but if you really want to see Foxy take on some of these players, then please get voting for them. This ends tomorrow, and it would be great to see them there.
This is your opportunity to get your dream matchups that you've always wanted to see through this league to actually happen in real life. You can get, Foxy versus Rio, Nivek versus Perfect Legend, Nivek versus J1 for the Raiden Mirror. Do you want to see Foxy come up against Tyrant? Do you want to see him come up against Forever King? You can make this happen. Go to esl.gg/MKX fan choice and get your votes in. Foxy Grandpa is running a tear through Europe right now. Try and get him to Burbank and see if he can do the same in America. I want to see it.
For those at home that would like to stay up to date on these leagues and enter them yourself, it's esl.gg/MKX Pro League. Staying up to date on social media, it's ESL Mortal Kombat and NetherRealm on Twitter and Facebook for all the information you need on the game, on the ESL State of the League, future tournaments and the brackets, who's doing what, etc, etc. I am Ketchup.
And I am Mustard.
And you have been watching Week 4 of the ESL EU MKX Pro League presented by Xbox. Thank you all very much for watching. We hope you thoroughly enjoyed the show, and we will see you same time next week. And tune in a couple of hours for the North American side of this tournament.
See you later, guys.
Take care.